Hey guys. This is part 7 of What If Naruto Has No Chakra. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start. Chapter 18. Atlas Gaiden. Sound modulation. Special frequencies afflicting the inner ear with irregular harmonics and throwing the victim off balance. Chakra used to adapt the frequency. What are you doing? Apophis asked, crawling on the ground and glancing at his partner. I'm trying to reverse engineer Dosa's melody arm, Naruto explained, as he kept disassembling the device. If I can understand how it works, I can devise a copy that doesn't need chakra. I'm surprised it didn't get wrecked during your... Apophis stopped himself before he could utter the dreaded word, my rampage. What do you want, Apophis? I don't want to sound harsh, but I'm having a hard time focusing already, and silence would be welcome. The Kage summit is within weeks, and I have to prepare for what I think will be a very brutal showdown. I finished recovering some of the belongings you left in Konoha before Pain abducted you, Apophis said, and I found that. He placed the item on the table, the blonde glancing at it. It was a hexagonal crystal. A beautiful, shining pendant. Naruto smiled. I wondered where that went, he admitted. Thanks. It's very precious to me. I wanted to know what it was, Apophis admitted. It is a magnificent jewel. It's a gift from a friend, Naruto said. I befriended her during a mission that went off the rails. Her country was pretty amazing. Really? Apophis asked, narrowing his eyes in curiosity. Tell me everything. That was before the Chunin exams, right after Han and Fu arrived in Konoha, and before Anko got captured by Sasori and Orochimaru, Naruto said. Anko was given a mission and took me with her. Due to lack of manpower, Tenten was sent to help, and it didn't take long for Han and Fu to come along. It all started in a theater. The movie had reached its climax. Princess Gale, surrounded by undead soldiers called upon by her nemesis Mao the Warlock, prepared to fight for her life, inspiring courage in the hearts of her despaired companions. Closing her eyes, she summoned the fabled power of Rainbow Chakra. The audience whispered in awe, mesmerized, wondering if the princess would survive or die. Deus ex machina. I call hacks. The audience glared at the blonde troublemaker, who glared back. Oh, come on! Naruto complained. Am I the only wondering if she brought this never hinted at before rainbow chakra out of her? But am I? Naruto, maybe you shouldn't talk that loudly, Tenten whispered. The Han says it's a fine movie, just go along with it, the giant added. Naruto, I think this movie sucks too, Fu whispered, but that's not a reason to disturb the cinema. It's so cliché I can predict the ending, Naruto pouted. She defeats Mao in a blinding ray of light and the land is covered with magical rainbows. End of the story. Stop spoiling, you dick! A moviegoer complained. Shut up! Naruto shot back. A kindergartner could write a better script. The Han hopes the princess gets a pony at the end. A princess without a pony is no princess at all. Naruto raised an eyebrow at Han, who shrugged. Seriously, I told you we should have watched K-Men, Bloodlines of Future Past. Or Frozen Mizukage. That's animation, but at least the plot is better than this shit. While the four shinobi were occupied bickering, the movie's ending unfolded, and Naruto's predictions were nearly entirely confirmed. When the film was over, the four ninjas walked outside into the city's streets. I can't believe movies like this one exist, Naruto said. I mean seriously, yeah, the actress is award level, but everything else makes me sick. Does he always complain about movies? Fu asked Tenten, who shrugged. You should have seen him after the Shinobi of Steel. He couldn't stop bitching about the ending. Oh come on, Super Ninja killing someone? That's a big NO, and that comes from a hardcore fan of the 300 Samurais. See? Naruto groaned. Anyway, I'm starting to wonder if Anko's new mission isn't a sick joke from her. We've been waiting for hours. Hell, even Kakashi would have arrived earlier. By the way, so you know what this mission is about? Tenten asked. I mean, not only did Anko agree to take your Jinchuriki friends along, but I got drafted too for extra muscle. This must be a perilous job, VIP protection, Fu said. Must be a daimyo or a rich entrepreneur. Whatever, the sooner we get away from this cinema the better. Naruto never finished his sentence, as a horse almost hit him. Taking a leap backward, Naruto glared at the rider. It happened to be a very good-looking, raven-haired woman with light eyes. Her hair was long and silky, her visage was that of an angel, and her elegant blue robes that of a princess. Tenten instantly recognized her. That's Princess Gale. She squealed, her inner fangirl awakened. Soon after the princess left the team's range of vision, a dozen armored riders chased her, swinging their weapons and professing insults. Oh my gosh, she's under attack. Tenten panicked. We've got to save her. Maybe we should let them kill her, Naruto scoffed. I mean, no more Princess Gale, no more movies. After everyone glared at him, the blonde rolled his eyes. Alright, Fu, get me on the roofs. Koyuki Kazuhana, also known as Yuki Fujikaze, glanced with boredom at her pursuers. This pursuit scene was uninteresting, especially since it happened at least once per film. It was a tradition among Princess Gale movies. The scene followed the script almost perfectly. The pursuit continued in a street, where Yuki would soon take a shortcut and escape outside the city without any trouble. Then an arrow killed one of her pursuer's horse, making the rider crash on the ground. Soon afterward, a volley of projectiles massacred all the mounts, the actors falling down helpless to the ground. Yuki Fujikaze, the only one whose horse hadn't been shot, glanced at the source of it all. I got 4, a blonde archer whispered, sitting on a roof with somebody else. I got 6, a brown-haired girl replied. I won. Damn it, are you insane? Yuki shrieked. We were filming a scene. The two archers exchanged a glance, with the blonde snorting. I guess they should have hired stuntmen, he said, unwilling to apologize. Maybe we should tell Han and Fu? The girl said. I mean, before they slaughter the rearguard. That's too late for that, I'm afraid. The duo was interrupted when a purple-haired kunoichi materialized next to them. What the fuck were you doing? I was saving the world, the blonde deadpanned. From a bunch of horses? From evil horses. The older kunoichi rolled her eyes. Feel lucky you didn't hit her. This girl is our client. Silence. You're joking, right? Both Koki and Naruto said at the same time. Naruto wanted to go home. No. No, just no. Sorry, you've got no choice, Anko said. This mission should have been taken by Kakashi, but his team is occupied in the Land of Moon. They're paying us well for this shit, and that's all that matters. I refuse to go along with this crap. Anko hadn't lied. Yuki Fujikaze, the actress playing Princess Gale, was the VIP they had been hired to protect, by her manager Sandei. They would be escorting her to the Land of Snow, where her newest movie would be filmed and screened. In short, Naruto would have to suffer for weeks, and he would suffer alone. Han and Fu were pretty excited, and Tenten hoped to make money working on the stage. Naruto could have gone with it, if this Fujikaze wasn't such a bitch. Look, even the actress doesn't want to participate to this trip, Naruto pointed out. She left a while ago. After refusing to give an autograph to her kid admirers, which was incredibly snobbish. The personality of a client is the last of Konoha's problems, Anko replied. As long as the money flows, we do as we are told, no question asked. The kunoichi crossed her arms. As for the actress, you're the one going after her. Why? Naruto complained. You're the team's tracker, remember? First, because you don't look like a shinobi. You look like civilian, and being unrecognizable is a boon in VIP protection. Second, you're pretty good at tracking when you want, while I have to plan our itinerary and escape routes. This made Naruto perk up. You expect an attack? He saw Fujikaze's reluctance to leave the Land of Fire and another light. That's a long story, but according to Kakashi, we'll run into trouble in the Land of Snow, or beforehand. Naruto nodded, suddenly interested. What could push someone into trying to kill an actress of all people? Especially one without any political agenda? I'll find her. It didn't take long. Naruto was a people person, after all. There, away from Konoha, his bad reputation within the hidden village didn't get in the way. After sweet-talking a few individuals, he discovered Fujikaze had settled in a bar. Entering the establishment, Naruto quickly noticed his client had already found a way to run into trouble. Sitting against the counter, the actress was already drunk. Her beautiful pendant, a crystal of extreme purity, was exposed for all to see. A shady-looking man walked in her direction, his body stance indicating he intended to grab it and flee as fast as he could. Moving faster, Naruto snuck behind the man and applied a kunai against his back, making the thief flinch. If you don't leave, then this kunai finds its way into your spine, Naruto promised. Go, before I spill your blood all over the floor. The man gasped, and hurriedly fled. Undisturbed by the client's glares, the blonde sat next to Fujikaze and ordered some ale. You're a pain to protect, princess, the actress snorted. Then get lost. Great, this is going to be a long mission, Naruto noted. I'm paid to ignore that order, sorry. I'm your bodyguard, even if none of us like it. Bodyguard me? You! Fujikaze snorted. You don't look like you could bodyguard a child. I did help bodyguard a daimyo once. Although it ended very badly. Trust me, I've faced worse than a few hitmen. Orochimaru comes to mind. You've no idea what awaits us in the land of snow, she shot back. Why don't you tell me then? Fujikaze glanced away, ignoring the blonde. Another beer, she ordered, drinking at her leisure. Tasting his own ale, Naruto decided to change subjects and accommodate the actress. Nice pendant, he said. Where does it come from? That's none of your business. If someone wants to steal it, then it's mine. Naruto stayed silent, realizing the actress was too drunk to be amiable. After a few more minutes, she ended up falling asleep on the counter. Great, Naruto noted. Now I have to carry her drunken ass to the ship. He glanced at her pendant. The item's shape was strange and yet elegant, probably a personal treasure. Maybe I should do something about it. The journey on the ship happened without incidents. Well, almost. The Han is going to puke, the giant complained, his nausea obvious. He watched the sea like a lost puppy. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How can you puke with your mask on? Fu asked, out of morbid curiosity. Secret ninja puking technique, Naruto shrugged. He didn't expect Han of all people to suffer from seasickness. I mean, he has a giant dolphin in his stomach. Who would have thought? That's ridiculous. Hey, we live in a world where you can create dragons out of water. Creating a technique to puke through a mask sounds reasonable. Fu rolled her eyes, while Naruto glanced at the clear sea waters. Why did you came along? He asked. I appreciate, but you aren't Konohanins. You have no obligation to do anything the old man asks. Outcasts gotta stick together, Fu replied, especially if they're Jinchuriki, don't you think? The Han had nothing better to do, the giant said. The Han's instinct tells him this mission is going to be great. Even with the nauseas? Fu mocked. The Han will conquer the illness. Like he conquers everything, the Jinchuriki shot back. Naruto rolled his eyes, and showed them Fujikaze's necklace. By the way, what do you think of that? The two Jinchuriki glanced at the item, with Fu grabbing and examining it closely. That's pure quartz, she said. It's a mineral crystal. It's pretty fragile, but very resistant to heat. You've knowledge of mineralogy? Naruto asked. It was one of my hobbies when I was a kid, Fu said. Collecting stones was a solitary activity, and I could practice it without being bothered. It's Princess Gale's necklace, Han noted. You stole it? I did not steal it, I borrowed it, Naruto corrected, glancing at Fujikaze. She was wearing a replica of her necklace around her neck. Beside, she should not even notice. What's that, a fake? It's a poor man's replica Anko made, Naruto confirmed, with a tracking device inside. Oh, I see, Fu guessed. This way we can locate the client anytime. Yes. Considering how careless she is, it does not hurt to be careful. When the mission is over, I will give her the real necklace back, but it looks strange for a pendant. That's not a decoration, Fu said. It's a key. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Could you explain yourself? The crystal is shaped to fit in a lock, she said. Takigakure often used crystal keys to keep its vaults locked. Each important family had one. I wonder if Fujikaze has any idea of her necklace's true nature. Naruto shrugged. What do you think it opens? A vault? A treasure chest? Come on, dream with me. I don't know, Fu admitted. It might be a lost key, which went from hand to hand. I see, Naruto said, his hand moving to take the necklace back, only for Fu to put it in her pocket. Hey, it's quartz, she said. It's horribly fragile, and let's face it, you aren't the most careful guy around. You've a tendency of breaking things. That's a lie, Han chuckled. Sometimes he simply sets them on fire. The conversation was interrupted by Anko. The kunoichi smirked at Fu and Han. I need to talk to the brat for a few minutes, she said. Alone? Come on, Fu said, grabbing Han by the shoulder and leading him away. Walking will help you feel less sick. The Han is not sick. His stomach is undergoing a spiritual awakening. Anko watched them leave, before seating on the ship's edge. You've made pretty strange friends, Naruto. Fu is pretty reasonable, the blonde replied. Han. I don't know which world he lives in, but it's not our own. He's crazy, but harmless crazy. Not shove my axe in your face crazy. Can we trust them? Anko asked. I don't want to sound xenophobic, but they are both missing nin from their villages and have refused to enroll among our forces. They're missing nins because they have been rejected one time too many, Naruto replied. They're nice people looking for a purpose in life. You're being paranoid, Naruto. Any ninja reaching the level of Jounin is paranoid to a degree. It helps you stay alive. Anko shrugged. I guess they're in the same boat as we are, with Akatsuki after the Jinchuriki. But what will they do when Akatsuki is dismantled? Alliances born out of fear of a common enemy rarely end well. They could stay in Konoha, Naruto suggested. The population does not know their nature like they know mine. They could have a nice life there. Inwardly, he hoped these two wouldn't leave. He quite enjoyed their company, maybe, Anko admitted. But they are not Konoha ni Naruto. We cannot force them to stay with us, or kick them away. The choice is theirs to make. The blonde nodded, glancing at Fujike's next. Back to our mission, Naruto said. How much distance can the tracking device cover? Half a country, Anko smiled. That's the NBU tech I borrowed from Kakashi. They use it to follow VIPs or fugitives. Naruto wondered if the Sandaime had used a similar device to track him down. After Orochimaru kidnapped him, he had used the seal. True, but it didn't hurt to have multiple contingencies. Why are we protecting her? It's complicated, Anko said. That Sandaime and Hokage-sama have a role for her. But if she doesn't follow it, then everything was for naught. You raise more questions than answers. It will become clear later. It is better if Sandaime explains you everything himself. It would be better if you told me right now. Why not? The Sandaime wishes it this way, Anko admitted. He doesn't want your behavior to change around our client yet. She needs to feel we do not have second thoughts, at least for now. So it's another of the old man's plots, Naruto thought. The boss is a master at misinformation. I hope it's worth the trouble. If it works, then Konoha's position will be strengthened, Anko said. Make no mistake, brat, I don't like it either, but we've got orders. Be yourself and run along with it. Naruto was kind of sick of all these secrets. I can't wait to make Anbiyu, he thought, then I will know what I'm fighting for. The Kunoichi apparently read his mind, for she shot down his hopes. Unless you become Hokage or a commander, you will never fully learn a mission's long-term objectives, she said. Some pieces of information are too precious to be shared with underlings. And if I make Anbiyu commander? Naruto replied. Danzo won't live forever, Anko smiled. In 50 years, maybe, she said, assuming you live that long. We are ninja, Naruto. Living past 30 is an achievement in our trade. You have to accept that you're expandable before considering moving up a rank. Only a tenth of the entire ninja population dies as a jounin or Anbiyu. Way to give me hope, sensei. I'm blunt. I'm not your sensei to give you hope. I'm your sensei to ensure you make it to the end of the line. Around them, the film staff seemed confused and angry, the producer ranting at them. Anko frowned. What's happening? Oh, that? Naruto snorted. Maybe someone stole all copies of the original script, threw them into the sea, and replaced them with another, better one, and maybe this person is fighting the urge to indulge in an evil laugh as we speak. You did it? The Kunoichi raised an eyebrow. Why? Because the script was boring, Naruto snapped. And because I have a plot to save the filming industry. Read the text. Anko glanced at the script. Game of Logs? An epic story of betrayal and politics, Naruto narrated. Princess Gale visits her cousin Robert, who won the one log by slaying the Dark Lord Ares, and ruled the land of logs for a decade. Yet, the end of his reign is marred with betrayals, treachery, and conspiracies. For whoever controls the one log, controls the universe. Can Princess Gale play the game of logs and save the land from itself? Wait, Anko said, skipping through the pages. This script contains one graphic incestuous sex scene, 2 executions by beheading, 1 case of poisoning, 5 murders, 1 scene of torture, verbal and physical abuse, 1 parricide. That's a rate of 1 atrocity per 5 minutes. Indeed, Naruto replied, the story is dark, bleak, and characters die all the time. Enough with the winged ponies and rainbows. The time for undead monsters and endless night has come. I'm not sure the fans will be happy to see a beloved character die every half an hour. That's the point, Naruto said. Most people watching Princess Gale are children or their families. By introducing a dark, depressing entry in the franchise, Princess Gale's core audience will desert theaters after some kids are traumatized. This should kill the franchise. Wait, just wait, Anko cut in. You concocted an elaborate plot involving theft and forgery, all to end a movie franchise you don't like. I took pranking to a whole new level, Naruto gloated. The prank will be on the audience itself. Is it not glorious? Anko grinned childishly. I was a better teacher than I thought. Hey, Tenten, watch T. Naruto stopped, glancing at his friend. The hell are you doing? Tenten and Fu were playing a game on a board of gold. The pieces were made of a strange white and black substance, and looked like towers, soldiers, riders. Tenten played the white, Fu the black. Later, Naruto, the weapon user, said, I've got to focus. What's that? Naruto asked. It looks like shogi. It's a variant called chess, Fu said. It's more popular in the northern half of the continent than the southern half. Fu was teaching me how to play, Tenten admitted. You want to play? If I know the rules, why not? Naruto said. sitting next to the board. Is that true gold? Nah, that's a solid variant of my golden powder, Fu replied, smirking at Naruto's horrified face. Don't worry, this kind won't explode in your face. Even the pieces are made of it? Naruto asked, observing them. How is that possible? The powder is an organic compound that Nana can produce at will, the same way a larva can create silk or a spider a web, Fu explained. By mixing it with my chakra, I can achieve a variety of results, from explosive dust to harmless glue or solid webs. That could be very useful for construction, Tenten suggested. You could make a lot of money selling this gum. I wouldn't listen if I were you, Fu. Naruto laughed. Tenten is the queen of get-rich-quick schemes that never work. Remember that time we tried selling your low-cost ceiling tags? That was an accident. The kunoichi complained. I couldn't know the formula was unstable. The gum only lasts 2 hours before degrading, Fu told the dejected Tenten. So no, it does not have a lot of mundane applications. Naruto coughed. So, what do these little soldiers of gum do? The game is simple, Fu explained. That's like a shinobi war. That piece right there? That's the king. The goal is to capture the other team's king. The king can only move one space, but in any direction. He's the one making decision and the one everything revolves around. If he falls, his army falls. That's the Kage in short? Yeah. That piece, that's the queen. It's the second in command. She goes where she wants, as far as she wants, in order to win. It's the legendary ace, the elite ninja, the strongest warrior in the army. Like the Sannin during the Third Shinobi War. What about these towers, the castles? That's the Jinchuriki. Fu shrugged. They move horizontally or vertically, as far as they want, and they reek the lines of defense. They're engines of war. The riders are the knights, Tenten continued. They can move behind enemy lines. They're ANBU and infiltrators. These guys are the bishops. They move in diagonals, strike fast, and exploit weak points. They're like Jonin. And these bald guys are the Genins and the Chunins? Naruto continued the metaphor. The grunts? They're the pawns, Fu said. They can only move one space forward, but they attack at angles. In short, they're weak and they face the enemy head-on, without any special ability. Like lambs ripe for the slaughter, Naruto noted. They don't last long, do they? Most of them never see the end of the line, Tenten confirmed. They get sacrificed so the better pieces can do damage. But if a pawn reaches the end of the board, Fu said, he becomes a queen, an ace. If. It rarely happens more than once per battle, so you've got to be clever to survive as a pawn, Tenten mused. No, Naruto noted, you've got to be lucky enough to be the last one standing. Fu nodded gravely, prompting another question from Naruto. Can a pawn become a king? No, Tenen said, the king stays the king. And if a castle arrives at the end, can he become the king? The king stays the king, Fu replied. A castle stays a castle. And a pawn can become a queen at best. Naruto glanced at the board, slightly depressed. I'm too weak to be a rook and not yet above Chunin, he thought. I'm a pawn, if a special one. And even if reach the end of the line and become an ace, I will always answer somebody's orders and the battle will continue. No way out. But what if the king is beaten, but other pieces remains? Naruto asked. Can't the queen become the king? I mean, if the old man kicked the bucket in battle, someone would step in to assume his role. That's how the Night-Aim handed the title to the Sand-Aim. Maybe, but the battle turns into a defeat, Tenten said. If the king falls, the battle is over, but you can have a new one later, with a brand new king. And what if all the pieces but the king are gone? Does the other side win? Naruto asked. If only the leader remains to face an entire army, with no one to command, then he has no way to win. It's no longer a battle, it's a last stand. As long as the king remains, the battle never ends. Fu said the lone king will keep destroying pieces until beaten himself. He may not hope to win, but he can make the other side's victory costly and meaningless. In short, it's dying in a blaze of glory, instead of losing miserably, Tenten added. No, Naruto replied, it's still losing miserably, while being in denial about it. The battle continued, and although Tenten had only recently learned the rules, she dominated the first half of the battle. Having the first team to play, she gained an advantage during the opening. However, Fu started making progress in the second half, before finally cornering Tenten's king and winning the duel. Checkmate, the Jinchuriki said. Congrats, Tenten smiled warmly. Hey Naruto, would you like to play? No, Naruto said. A game where nobody can become a king is not worth playing. It just doesn't feel right to play a war where soldiers do all the work and never get rewarded for their work. Still, it's a pretty insightful game. You wanted to tell me about something? Yeah, Naruto handed her his newest invention, a bouncing ball covered with explosive tags. The bouncing ball of insanity. That's just a bouncing ball with explosive tags on it, Tenten pointed out. Imagine the applications. You light it, you throw it into a room with multiple opponents, and BM. Flawless victory. That's crazy. How can you prevent it from bouncing back and exploding in your face? Hey, I'm the visionary, you're the technician. I have an idea, you make it work. Nah, I've got a better plan to make money, Tenten suggested, using henge to play actors and elaborate ninjutsu-based special effects. It's going to be a huge cost saver for the film, if we offer our services to the producer. Yeah, you're right, Naruto pointed out. You can have one ninja play multiple roles with nobody the wiser. You might even play children and old men, while using ninjutsu for special effects. Wonderful. The producer wholeheartedly agreed to the proposal, especially since the new script involved a lot more actors than the original one. He quickly started distributing roles. Tenten will play Sansa Stark, the producer explained. You will need to let your hair down for that. Wait, I wanted to play Arya Stark. Sansa doesn't even get to wield a weapon. I got the role, Fu said, reading her text. What kind of character is called Arya Stark anyway? It sounds like Spark, a slightly psychopathic little girl that gets turned on by violence. The producer explained. Anko Mitarashi will play Cersei Lannister. Hey, no! Anko complained, reading the script. I refuse to play an incestuous bitch. I've got standards. I might have chosen otherwise, but your outfit. I thought you would enjoy the role. It's a professional uniform, Anko complained. It's for infiltration. Bordello infiltration, right. Naruto got a light punch on his shoulder for his trouble. Han is going to play Gregor Clegane, the only character with his height, the producer said, the mountain that rides. Nah, the giant shook his head. The Han will be the mountain that rocks, the producer face-palmed. Next, Naruto Uzumaki will play Prince Joffrey Baratheon. Prince Joffrey? Naruto complained. The most repulsive character of all? Why should I play an annoying, blonde, attention-seeking, violent brat with a penchant for disproportionate retribution? Oh, you will fit nicely, Anko mocked. I would have given you the role of Jon Snow, but you just have the right face for this role. If only I had a crossbow to shoot you with. Good, you're following the script already, the producer commented. Now get your sorry ass on the stage and play. Naruto, I have to ask, Fu said, as the duo stepped from the boat. Do you enjoy horrible endings? I don't know what you're talking about. Anko told me everything against a free dango. That gluttonous traitor. Naruto cursed. Betraying my trust should have cost you a hand, or more. Am I that cheap? We both know your sensei is addicted to these meals, Fu snorted, returning to the former subject. No one is safe from your pen. Half the good guys are dead. That's insane. On the contrary, I should be congratulated for not killing the other half, Naruto grinned. Winter is coming. Ah, shut up, Fu shivered, even under her heavy green pullover. Why is it so cold, damn it? It's called the land of snow, what did you expect? Naruto said. Summer beaches? Land at last. Naruto and Fu turned around, witnessing Han kneel on the snow and roll over it in joy. The torture is over. The Han feels great again. Naruto and Fu laughed at that display of emotions, and they weren't the only one. Fujikaze herself seemed to struggle not to chuckle as she stepped down from the boat. You know, Princess, the blonde pointed out, I didn't know you could smile outside of acting. The actress instantly regained her icy composure, much to Naruto's annoyance. You don't have to be ice cold all the time, no bad pun intended, the Jinchuriki pointed out. Cheer up a little, Princess. My emotions are only an act, Uzumaki, Fujikaze replied icily. And stop calling me Princess. Emotions an act? Fu frowned. You can't be an actor without emotions. What is troubling you? Naruto asked, his curiosity overwhelming his prudence. Why do you hate this trip? Sure, the country is icy as hell, Fu stated, but it's just snow, right? There's no big wolf waiting to swallow you. You have no idea how dangerous the land of snow is, Fujikaze said. Before Naruto could ask why, he got his answer. The ice trembled, and 3 ninjas emerged from the snow, wearing strange armors. Princess. One of them snarled, grinning wickedly. How nice to see you back. Fujikaze paled in terror, and took a step back. Wait, that wasn't in the script, Fu pointed out. Who are these guys? Trouble, Naruto pointed out, grabbing his tanto. Guys, get into formation 30. Wait. Han cut in. Can the Han have them for himself? Fu glanced at him in surprise. You want to fight them alone? You do realize you're outnumbered 3-1? Naruto asked. Nah, they're outnumbered, the giant replied. They should have brought 3,000 men to challenge the Han. The group rolled their eyes, making the Han cross his arms. The Han needs exercise, he said, making puppy eyes plies. Alright, Naruto facepalmed, go enjoy yourself. Yes. The Han pointed his index at the snow ninjas. Prepare to get Haned. What happened next? Naruto glanced at congregation of snakes gathered in front of him. At least 24 serpents had joined Apophis in listening to the story. What happened next? The blonde shuddered. The horror. Oh, come on! A viper protested. Tell us. Trust me, words cannot properly portray the terrifying ordeal these minions endured at Han's hands. Naruto replied, You're too young and pure to hear what happened. The congregation hissed in protestation, but Naruto continued his story. After Han gave them the beating of their life, they returned to their dread master, the dictator Doto Kazahana. Doto, ruthless, bloodthirsty ruler of the land of snow and usurper of the throne, observed his elite trio of ninjas with astonishment when they returned to his castle after their latest mission. What happened? It wasn't our fault, Lord Doto. Nadar, the cool-headed leader of his ninja team, was missing a tooth and his face was covered with bruises. There was 100, definitely 200, added Fubuki, the trio's pink-haired kunoichi. Her nose and left arm were both broken. Koyuki brought an army with her, a terrifying army. You told me she only had 5 shinobi with her, Doto stated. We vastly miscalculated. Doto clenched his teeth and glanced at Mizor, the biggest, meanest member of the group. The Colossus was laying on the floor, crying in a fetal position. What happened to him? That, oh my god, that was inhuman. Nadara cringed. Poor Mizor, that fist. Mizor whined in his corner. That was a demon's fist. Doto put his palm on his face. Get out of my sight. All of you. The trio crawled away miserably. Doto clenched his fists in rage, and considered his options. If his elite had failed so spectacularly, then sending his regular troops would fail. He needed a better alternative. Fortunately, there was one. Call Akatsuki, Doto told one of his guards. Tell them I have a job for their organization. Castration fist? Naruto shuddered. Where did you learn something like that, Han? Rashi taught me, the giant chirped. Alongside the enhanced form, the pillar and stone's destroyer. Rashi was one scary guy. Naruto shuddered. After seeing what Han did to these poor snow ninjas, he didn't want to be on the man's bad side, ever. The ninjas had retired to the captain's room, where Sandeo awaited them. The Han them good, the giant said happily. They aren't coming back. Han them? It's a new word the Han invented, the giant said. It means to utterly dominate and crush. I Han, you Han, we Han, they got Haned. Such a Hanning defeat. It was fantastic. It was amazing. That meal was hanlicious. The blonde Jinchuriki smirked, highly amused, before glancing at Anko. Look, you owe us an explanation. Who were these guys? And their tech? He had never seen something like that. Although Han had thoroughly dominated his foes, their strange armor had nullified some of his ninjutsu, letting it flow over them without effect. It's a chakra armor, Sandeo explained, a prototypal weapon developed by the Land of Snow's army. Only 5 examples are in circulation, and they protect against ninjutsu and genjutsu by producing a natural chakra barrier around the skin. But they do not protect against Han's main strength, taijutsu, Naruto noted. Still, this weapon was obviously a powerful tool, so these guys were official Snownin. Tenten noted. And they attacked Fujikaze, calling her a princess. She's more than she appears, right? Sandae nodded, and dropped the bomb. Fujikaze is not her real name. She is Koyuki Kazahana, rightful daimyo of the Land of Snow. Naruto chuckled, until he realized he was serious. The hell? That girl is a daimyo? Her uncle Doto Kazahana killed her father a decade ago, burned the royal castle to the ground, and usurped the throne. Anko continued. Kakashi was her bodyguard during this time and managed to smuggle her to safety. She was given a false identity by Konoha, until she could regain her place. I was a soldier of the Land of Snow's 50th Brigade, Sandeo explained. I spent the last decade coordinating the resistance against Doto alongside Sarutobi-sama. Today, we are ready to move and reinstall Koyuki-sama. Naruto narrowed his eyes and glanced at Anko. What do we have to gain out of this, beside a valuable ally? Anko shrugged. The Land of Snow's army has developed an advanced technology Konoha would like to obtain, including the chakra armor you witnessed. In exchange for our help, the daimyo will trade military secrets with us. This should bolster our forces, and with a possible war with Suna and Akatsuki looming over us, any boon is welcome. That's if Koyuki agrees to go along, Naruto said. She doesn't look enthusiastic. Sandei lowered his head in discomfort. Koiki-sama is a bit fearful of Doto, for obvious reasons. She has retreated into herself, and hardened her heart. I had hoped the journey would give her hope and enlighten her on her subjects' pain. She doesn't even care about her fans. How do you expect her to care about her subjects? Naruto countered. A reluctant ruler would be just as bad as Dodo, both for herself and others. Sandei found no answer, and Naruto shrugged. Why us, Anko? Black Ops should have been recommended for this. Who told you Black Ops weren't in the land of snow as we speak? Anko shrugged. Who do you think trained and equipped the rebellion all these years? No, Naruto, the only thing we need to topple Doto is a replacement ruler. Which is why the Sandaime gave us this mission in the first place. Naruto's eyes widened. Our mission isn't to protect Koiki? He asked. No, it's to convince her, Anko said. You're a magnet, Naruto. You've got that weird power to befriend even the most awkward individuals and get under their skin. He believes simply sending you near Koiki would be enough to make her emerge from her shell. That's ridiculous. Try, it's not like you've anything to lose. Sasuke Uchiha opened his heart to you. It shouldn't be that hard to break the ice with this girl. Naruto frowned, but reluctantly nodded. So what do we do next? Fu asked. These ninja will attack us again, with larger forces when they learn the initial assault failed. We will move farther inland until we reach the rebellion's base, Anko explained. However, we will have to be more careful. Tenten? Yes? You will trade clothes with Fujikes and use a henge to disguise yourself as her, Anko explained. Meanwhile, Naruto will help the princess disguise herself. This will make protecting the VIP easier. Do you think you can do it? In short, I will be a body double? Tenten smirked. It shouldn't be too hard. I know this job is risky, but I've a shortage of candidates, Anko said. I trust you to do it competently. Naruto had to admit seeing Anko drop her happy, childish demeanor and becoming a professional jounin was a thing to behold. The plan was pretty smart, doubly so considering the real Fujikes would keep a tracker on her. This meant a double contingency. Han and I will constantly surround Tenten, adding credit to the misdirection, Anko continued. Meanwhile, Naruto, Fu and Fujikes will be at the end of our caravan. They should appear as a rearguard and a less interesting target. If we are to be attacked, they will focus on evacuating the client at all costs, instead of fighting. I trained Naruto at evasion, so he's the best fit for the role. The security of the client is the main objective, so Naruto will evacuate her, even if it costs us our lives. Any objections? The group nodded in confirmation, and Naruto moved out of the captain's quarters, intending to inform Fujikes himself of the details. He reached the cabin and knocked the door. When he got no answer, he entered and closed the door behind him. Fujikes was sitting on bed, and barely seemed to acknowledge his presence. What do you want? She asked, without looking at him directly. I just wondered how you felt, Naruto said. We're going back to your kingdom, after all. If she was surprised Sandei told him everything, she didn't show it. I should have died back then, she uttered lifelessly. Of course she has survivor's guilt, Naruto realized. She saw her father die and home burn. Her icy personality made much more sense now. The ninja sat next to her. I can't say if you should or shouldn't have, the blonde admitted, but you're alive. But my heart and my family are dead, Fujikes replied. Why am I even talking to you? You can't understand. No, I don't, Naruto replied. I never had a father, nor a mother. I don't even know how it feels like to have a family. I can only imagine. The actress glanced at him strangely, but there was no light in her eyes. Did you love your father? Naruto asked. What was he like? He was a very kind man, Fujikes admitted, a wise ruler. Always smiling and caring. But Dodo killed him, like he killed everyone. Sandei and Konoha want to get rid of Doto and put you on the throne, Naruto stated with honesty. Do you share their goal? It's not a damn movie, Koiki replied with a frown. It's reality. We're never going to get rid of Doto, ever. He's too strong, too protected. Tyrants come and go, Naruto said. Most find their end at the dagger of their own allies. If Konoha wants Doto dead, then he will fall. But taking his place is your choice alone. So I ask you, what do you want? The princess said no word, only glancing at the window. I want to get away, she said. I don't want to go back to this place. Naruto examined her for a whole minute, in perfect silence. Fujikes was born to assume a role, enforced by others, and beyond her control. She just wanted to get out of her role and bury the past. She was like him. I can't do it. I can't have someone assume a role he doesn't want. Naruto searched in his miracle bag. I may be able to help you. Fujikaze glanced at what he brought out. Fake passports. False identity cards. Forged documents. What, you think you're the first who once considered leaving her homeland and start a new life elsewhere? Naruto told an amazed Fujikaze. My name is my name, but I can assume many other names. I can help you disappear if you wish. Are you kidding? The actress snorted. Konoha will never. What they don't know can't hurt them. Naruto replies, I don't want to force someone to assume a role he does not agree with. I have been forced into one all my life, and I know how it feels. If you want to get away, you can count on me. He put the documents back in the bag and approached the door. But know this, Naruto said. I may not have a father, but if I had one, I guess I would do my best to honor his memory. He locked eyes with Fujikaze. Will you? It's fantastic! Naruto exclaimed. What's the name of this thing? It's called a car, Fujikaze replied softly, while Fu helped her dye her hair blonde. Naruto was amazed by the device. It appeared to be a moving house on wheels, powered by some kind of strange, complex mechanism. An engine beyond the land of fire's technology. In short, Naruto felt like he had back in his childhood, when he still believed ninjutsu to be magic. The cars inside looked like an expensive bedroom, with 2 beds, windows, a table, and even a shower. Glancing through the window, Naruto noticed the steam coming out of the device. It's amazing. It's exactly like how Han's armor uses steam to help his movements. It's wonderful. The land of snow is small, but its technology is miles beyond that used in the shinobi nations, Fujikaze explained. We even have developed a device called an airship able to fly through the use of gas. Why the hell don't we have things like that in Konoha? Naruto wondered. This would revolutionize our economy. Ninjas cannot afford to let this kind of technology spread too much, Fujikaze pointed out, most of their income from low-level missions like helping in fields. If civilians exploit these devices, it means they become less reliant on ninjas. You seem to know the subject well, Fu noted. Back when I was a princess, I learned many lessons on how countries are run, the actress admitted. My father always said an ignorant ruler was no ruler at all. Your father was a wise man, Naruto replied. Damn it, think about what we could do with this tech. In 50 years, we might fly to and conquer the moon. I'm sure it must be made of cheese. A moon of cheese? The actress couldn't help but smile. That's absurd, Naruto grinned back. With her hair dyed blonde to match her blue eyes, Fujikaze was without a doubt a gorgeous woman. Yet, only her smile allowed her beauty to truly come out, Fu agreed, as she smiled to the young woman. Don't change a thing, Fu said, you're perfect the way you are. Fujikaze instantly regained her composure, much to the displeasure of the former Takinin. You don't have to pretend to be someone you aren't. That smile? That's the true you. The true me? The princess raised an eyebrow. For an actress, it doesn't mean anything. Not being myself is my job. No, Fu shook her head. There is a difference between playing a role for the camera and playing a role to yourself. You're trying to retreat into yourself, and it's unhealthy. What do you know about being yourself? Fujikaze sneered. Have you ever played a role to yourself? When I was 11, Fu explained, one of Takigaker's florists needed someone to help her. Since I needed a little more money than my mother was willing to give me, I asked if I could get the job. The florist told me to get lost, but I didn't give up. I dyed my hair, wore makeup to hide my face, and worked on my voice to hide it. I told the florist I was an orphan called Rin Tosaka. I got the job, and she treated me kindly. For a month, I worked there. Even after I got enough money, I just wanted to be someone else. Naruto listened to the story in sadness. Obviously, he hadn't been the only one mistreated by his village. Hell, considering Han's insane behavior, he probably didn't have the best environment to grow up in either. Meanwhile, Koyuki listened attentively, her face stone cold. But the more I worked, the more I realized I was deluded. Every time the florist smiled at Rin, I remembered the harsh words she told Fu. In the end, I couldn't keep the masquerade. I told her the truth, and I walked out of the shop. The silent glare she sent me was painful, but oddly, I felt happy. I might not be appreciated, but I was myself again. Why did this florist hate you? Fujikaze asked, curious. Fu glanced at Naruto, who nodded. Naruto, Han and I share a special ability that people fear, Fu explained. We grew up rejected because of it. You have a bloodline limit? Fujikaze wondered. You're a family? We don't share a genealogy, we share a curse. Naruto smiled sadly. We're a family of outcasts. The actress examined them closely. You guys are Jinchuriki. The duo paled. It wasn't that hard to guess, Koyuki said. Your headbands are different, and it's incredibly rare for multiple villages to share a Kekii Genkai. Besides, I heard Jinchuriki of the Nanabai often developed green hair due to the Biju's chakra. So? Fu asked. How does that makes you feel? Naruto expected a stare of contempt or cold indifference, but surprisingly, Fujike's eyes were full of sorrow and sympathy. I don't care. Somehow, her tone made it sound heartwarming. The trio spent most of the travel chatting. Much to Naruto's delight, Fujike's and Fu seemed to go along great. Koyuki even began to open herself a little, discussing very down-to-earth subjects. So, Fu-san, do you have a boyfriend? I might have one in sight, Fu admitted, lightly blushing. He's very friendly, charming and magnetic, but he seems to be very dense. Don't tell me it's Han, Naruto thought. I do wonder what is Han's orientation. Considering his narcissism, he's probably hansexual. And you, princess? He asked. Don't get me started. Fujike's rolled her eyes. I must receive, 1,000 love letters from admirers per week? Some of them are downright obsessive. Sandeya had to get rid of a stalker once. No serious love story, however? Fu asked. Even with other actors? No, Fujike smiled sheepishly. I guess I did not find the right one yet. She glanced at Naruto. And you, Naruto-san? Naruto-san? The blonde smiled to himself, considering how badly their relationship had started. I find it more likely for the moon to be made of cheese, he said, than finding a girl interested in dating me. The comment made both girls laugh, and the blonde glanced at the fake necklace. Is that an admirer's gift, that? Fujike shook her head in denial. My father told me this was the key to the land of snow's hidden treasure. He said it could bring spring to the land, but that season can never come in this country. Remembering the time someone tried to steal it, Naruto assembled the pieces of the puzzle. Princess, he asked, does your uncle knows about this treasure? The actress stopped smiling. Yes, but father told the treasure's purpose to me only. He must think it is a weapon of some sort, or worse. Naruto and Fu locked eyes without uttering a word. The car stopped. It was time to rest. The convoy had stopped next to a mountain, before an open tunnel. They had started eating, exchanging stories and laughing. Above the group, hidden under the snow, two ninjas observed their targets with binoculars. The first was unmistakably an ANBU. Her white cat mask and tanto were a proof of that. Her fair skin, revealed by a very shameless red outfit, was covered with tattoos of crimson petals. Her white hair was tied by a rope, and her icy blue eyes followed her targets with intensity. In spite of her light attire, she seemed unaffected by the cold. Her partner was a large, gigantic man, easily the size of Han himself. His short orange hair and gray eyes gave him an odd look. He wore a blue, sleeveless shirt and black pants. His left hand had been replaced with a long, heavy red cannon. That's them, the large man said. Boss, do you see the princess? Yes, Bando, the woman, whose name was Kagura, frowned. Anko? Who? An old friend from my time in Konoha, Kagura replied. How interesting. And have you seen her team? Not one, not two, but 3 Jinchuriki. Bando smirked. That's our lucky day. Orochimaru-sama will give us our weight in gold for bringing them to him. One problem at a time, Bando, Kagura said, annoyed by his greed. Bando was very competent, but his lust for money often blinded him from danger. 1 Jinchuriki was not to be underestimated, and 3 of them had to be handled with extreme care. The contract first. We'll think about what to do with the Jinchuriki when we have secured the necklace. We will need some prep work to contain Bijou for an extended period of time. All right, boss, you're the tactician here, Bando replied. So? Do we kill this Anko and abduct the princess? That would have been my first choice, had the girl next to Anko been our target. Bando raised an eyebrow. Why? She matches the description Doto gave us. Looks at the way she moves, Kagura pointed out. It's too controlled. She doesn't waste a single breath, and she is on her guards. That is not how a civilian acts. It's how a shinobi does. Bando was completely lost. Of course, he doesn't have ninja training beyond the basics, Kagura thought. The man was an arms dealer, first and foremost, preferring to work with experimental weapons than shinobi skills. But fortunately, his organizational skills, contacts, and efficiency more than made up for his lack of experience. Besides, one of Anko's favorite tricks is to use a body double of her client, while making the real one pass under the radar, Kagura continued. Considering the mission's importance, I doubt she hasn't prepared a few contingencies. Then, where is the real Koyuki? Look at the other group of ninjas. The 2 Jinchuriki are alert, and their posture indicate they're ready to fight and ambush any time. The third member of the trio looks forward. Her posture is too relaxed for even a genin, and the Jinchuriki are positioned to intercept a hit for her. Finally, look at her neck closely. Bando did as he was told and grinned. The necklace, so that's our target. Kagura glanced at the tunnel. It was a perfect place where to stage an ambush. Tell our men to prepare to fight. Clean and fast. Sure, boss, Bando said, guessing her plan. Looks like these guys will learn to ski soon. When the earth started to rumble, Naruto realized Doto's troops had caught up to them. The assault started with a volley of fireballs, which quickly blew up one fortunately empty car. 30 ninjas emerged from under the snow, each of them wearing a slashed headband. Nuke Nin! Tenten shouted. That's a team of missing Nin. Naruto quickly realized while these men might be missing Nin, they were definitively not ordinary marauders. They coordinated their assaults, moved as one, and covered each other, like an army unit. That was a group of professionals. Obeying the protocol defined by Anko, Naruto grabbed Koyuki by the waist, before putting her on his back. Ignoring her surprised squeals, Naruto prepared to run for his life. Fu, cover me! He shouted, the girl instantly manifesting chakra wings and flying upward. Meanwhile, the counterattack had started. Han had shielded the non-combatants with a cloud of steam while Anko had charged into the melee, backed up by Tenten's kunai. Fu, meanwhile, hovered over the battlefield, preparing an aerial assault. Naruto only had one place where he could be safe from this chaos: the tunnel. Racing toward it, he entered the darkness, only to be welcomed by a masked woman, charging at him with a knife. Quickly releasing Koyuki on the ground, the ninja grabbed a kunai and parried. The masked woman continued her assault, showing impressive knife-fighting skills. Although Naruto was no slouch at armed combat either, the woman quickly pushed him back. This knife-fighting style, the false ANBU noted, I recognize it. I had heard Anko had taken an apprentice, but I didn't believe it could be someone like you. Then again, Anko was always fond of bastards and broken things. Examining the woman's features and mask more closely, the blonde quickly identified it. Sumeragi Kagura, Naruto said, remembering her bingo book entry, A-rank missing Nin from Konoha. Wanted for murdering her former ANBU team and stealing valuable techniques. I do have quite the reputation, Kagura replied. Only a bounty makes one worthy of being called ninja. You, however, do not have an entry in the bingo book yet, so I'm not a real ninja to you? No. Come back in a decade or two and maybe I will consider you worthy. Taking a step back, the kunoichi joined her hands into a seal. A powerful gust of wind tossed Naruto to his back, and by the time he regained his footing, the renegade had reached Koyuki. Yet, the woman didn't kill Koyuki, although she could have easily. She only seemed to have eyes for. Toss me the necklace! Naruto shouted. She wants the necklace. The princess obeyed, instantly throwing it to Naruto. Kagura attempted to catch it midair, but the Jinchuriki was faster. You want it? He asked. Come and get it. I don't think so, a new voice interrupted. Drop it, or the girl gets it. Naruto realized, to his horror, another ninja had sneaked inside the tunnel, and currently pointed an odd cannon at Koiki's head. The blonde recognized the man as Bando, another wanted criminal. Koyuki raised her arms in surrender, clenching her jaw. If you fire, I crush the crystal, Naruto warned. Let her go. The girl's life for the necklace, Bando agreed, and even trade. Naruto-san, Koyuki said, don't. Your life is more important than a trinket. Naruto cut in. Let the princess leave this tunnel, and I will surrender the crystal to you. I give you my word. Bando glanced at Kagura, who gave him a sharp nod. Naruto glanced at Koyuki next. Run, he said, go. Naruto, don't worry, Naruto smiled. I will come back, I promise. With one last look of sorrow, the princess ran away, vanishing at the end of the tunnel's edge. Kagura quickly moved behind Naruto, and knocked him out with a single blow to the head. And that, people, was how I got captured by bad guys for what must have been the 11th time, Naruto said. You'd think that they'd learn by that point to, just kill me when they have the chance. But apparently it's a tradition. Who was this woman? A small boa questioned. And her partner? Who were they? Naruto shrugged. It seemed half the Ryuchi cave had decided to listen to the tale, even the gigantic snakes. Manda, self-proclaimed boss of the snakes, and the white snake themselves had joined in. Sumeragi Kagura and Dio Bando, the white snake said, A-rank criminals, listed in the bingo book. The former was an ANBU operative from Konoha, the latter a renowned weapon dealer in the underworld, although he never officially joined any hidden village. They ran a group of mercenaries for hire since the end of the Third Shinobi War and became wanted internationally after killing the former Earth daimyo at the behest of a mysterious employer. Why did this Kagura defect in the first place? The Bo asked. Kagura wanted to become Tsunade's apprentice, and was publicly rejected, the sage explained, while Dan Kato's niece Shizun, an average shinobi, was taken in. Kagura grew bitter and decided to form her own team. In terms of reasons for defecting, this one beats everything in sheer pettiness, Manda pointed out. Given that he had worked with Orochimaru for decades and as such came across more than a fair share of renegade shinobi, that meant something. Anyway, Naruto cut in, back to the story. Kagura and Bando carried me to Doto's lair, retreating with their men and my friends in their pursuit. I met Doto Kazuhana in person for the first and last time. Naruto awoke with one hell of a headache, outnumbered, and his hands restrained by ropes. He was obviously in a huge and large throne room of some sort, and a badly illuminated one to boot. A tall, powerfully built man was sitting on a stone throne, surrounded by ninjas. A few were clad in white clothes, while others wore slashed headbands. Bando stood next to Naruto, observing him closely. Naruto's weapons had been confiscated, but the ninja could use the ropes as garrote. He examined Bando's neck, waiting for an opportunity. I wouldn't do it if I were you, Kagura said, walking into view. I would kill you before you could blink. Naruto clenched his jaw and glanced at the man on the throne. You must be Doto Kazuhana. In the flesh, the dictator agreed, before faking politeness. I apologize that our meeting must occur under such circumstances. I expected something else from a bloodthirsty tyrant. All black armor with spikes or a skull-shaped helmet. Or a scar on the face. Doto snorted, and gave a nod to Bando. The ninja instantly appeared next to Naruto, and slammed a round device against his chest. The ninja instantly felt a surge of electricity run through his body, making him squirm. What is that? It's a chakra-absorbing device, Doto said, the land of Snow's newest technology. I know you do not have chakra, Bando said, but this should prevent the Kyuubi from throwing a tantrum. Naruto's eyes widened in horror. You know? Of course. We wouldn't be an Akatsuki if we didn't. Naruto's heart briefly stopped beating for a second. You guys are agents of Akatsuki? Sasori-sama and Orochimaru-sama are our direct superiors, yes, and we operate on their behalf, Bando confirmed. The Kyuubi, Gobi, and Nanabai will be our tribute to the organization. We should get promoted to the 10 rings after that. Naruto clenched his fists. This was bad, very bad. If Akatsuki was aware 3 Jinchuriki were located in the land of snow, then Orochimaru or someone worse might pay them a visit. And this time, the Hokage was too far away to help. But one problem at a time, Bando said, throwing the fake necklace to Doto. Here is your crystal, Doto-sama. The dictator grabbed the necklace, grinning wickedly, until his face turned into an expression of rage. Naruto grinned smugly. They make counterfeits out of anything nowadays, he gloated, adding insult to injury. Where is the real crystal? Doto snarled in rage. You switched the pendant? Bando asked Naruto, obviously angered by the bluff. You tricked us. He did more than that, Kagura said, examining the fake crystal more closely. That's a tracking device. His allies are probably hunting us down as we speak. He trapped us. Doto tossed the tracker away, his blood boiling with anger. Kagura, Bando, he ordered, what are you waiting for? Go find the real one. Why should we do it? One of the ninjas with a slashed headband asked. It's just a freaking decoration. Naruto examined his options. His could say the truth, and risk letting Akatsuki get his hands on a powerful device. This could end up in a catastrophe, but he had a big opportunity to screw over Doto, sow the seeds of internal fighting, and engineer his escape. If he played his cards right, then he could wipe out Akatsuki's forces in the area and destroy Doto's power base with one fell swoop. The real crystal is the key to the land of Snow's treasure, Naruto said, attracting everyone's gaze. Doto wants it because he can then access a powerful weapon built by his brother, the former daimyo. Doto's eyes narrowed dangerously, as the missing Nins frowned. Silence. He will never pay you. All he wants is to conquer the shinobi nations with it. Naruto shrugged. Interrogate his men, if you do not believe me. He's lying, Doto said. He bluffed once, Bando pointed out. This guy lies better than a politician. Kagura didn't focus on Naruto. No. The kunoichi kept staring at Doto, with her icy eyes piercing his very soul. Bando, she said. Check it out. The man instantly pointed his cannon at the face of an armored ninja, making him pale in surprise. You're Doto's second in command, right, Nadar? Bando asked the man. This cannon might rely on chakra, but it also uses gunpowder for the detonation. Even your armor won't shield you from a direct hit at this distance. If you value your life, you better not lie. Is this runt telling the truth? Is the crystal the key to a weapon? Nadar clenched his jaw and briefly glanced at Doto. But even loyalty didn't trump his fear of death. Yes, he said, yes, he's telling the truth. It happened in an instant. A knife sharpened by chakra slashed through Doto's head, slicing half his head and killing him on the spot. The snow ninjas gasped in shock and most took a step back, as the tyrant's blood and gray matter fell on the ground. Kagura grabbed the corpse and easily tossed it away. Then, she calmly sat on Doto's throne. Lord Doto. One of the snow ninja prepared to avenge his master, but a missing nin put himself in front of him. I'm in charge now, Kagura said. This country is now Akatsuki's property. And why is that? Nadar snarled. Because I am stronger than all of you put together, Kagura said calmly. You can fight with me or be crushed under my heel. It makes no difference to me. The snow ninjas exchanged worried glances, before deciding fighting the Iron Lady was pointless. All in all, the coup had lasted 5 minutes. This country's technology will be a boon for Akatsuki's plans, Bando noted. We'll make a lot of profit mass producing it. I can't wait to see that horse Tsunade's face when her land is swarmed with 1,000 ninjas equipped with chakra armor. Kagura smiled. I am drunk on this vision. As for this treasured weapon, I can't wait to see it in action. Yeah, genius. But you would need the real necklace to use the weapon, and Naruto stopped himself, glancing at his tracker. And fuck. I didn't think about that. You're going to lead them to us, Kagura confirmed. They will never allow a Jinchuriki to fall into our hands. We just have to wait, and they will bring us the key on a silver platter. Besides, we get to add 2 more Jinchuriki to our collection, Bando noted. Isn't it great? My friends will beat you, Naruto replied. All of you. We shall see, Kagura snorted. Nadar, please lead the Jinchuriki to his cell. We'll deal with him later. In Fu's mind, Doto's castle was gloomy as hell. Black and shadowy, surrounded by a snowy forest, it screamed evil lair. Koki-san, are you certain you wish to go along with us? Fu asked. You have no combat training. People are going to die for me today, the princess replied, having traded her usual clothes for a light leather armor and a small sword. It was mostly for the symbol and the troops, as she had no knowledge how to use a weapon. Naruto is in danger because he wanted to protect me. I will stand by the sidelines no longer, Fu nodded before handing over an item to the princess. Koki's eyes snapped open. The pendant! How did you get it back? The one Naruto kept is a fake, Fu admitted. It contained a tracker, in case we lost you. I'm returning the real one to you. The princess accepted the necklace and put it around her neck, before facing the gathered troops. Sandeo and the insurgents had been joined by members of Konoha's ANBU and Koiki's bodyguards. Koiki took her breath. My name is Koiki Kazahana, rightful daimyo of the Land of Snow, she declared. 10 years ago, my uncle Doto organized a coup d'etat, killing my father and taking over our country by force. For a decade, he ruled our land through fear and cruelty. No more, the insurgents roared in acknowledgement. I am not there to claim a throne, Koiki shouted. I am there to free a friend, and to free you, from Doto. When this is over, I promise you a new era will fall upon the Land of Snow. Beyond the harsh winter, a new spring of hope and peace. A new bright future. Now come with me and take this castle. The rebellion roared twice as hard. All of you, with me, Anko declared. We will take the castle's southern gate, while the princess will stay behind with the rear guard. Tenten, you're with me. Han and Fu, protect the princess at all costs. The group quickly separated, most of the army advancing forward. Koiki was left with Han, Fu, and 3 insurgents as guards. It took Fu a mere glance to realize they weren't ninjas. They were mere peasants, driven to fight an oppressive ruler without having ever been given combat training. They were lambs ripe for the slaughter. Hopefully, Konoha's forces would fare better. Fire release, star rain. A volley of blue fireballs started falling from the skies. Fu reacted quickly, 2 wings of chakra growing out of her back. Moving fast, she grabbed Koiki and fled the fireball's range, briefly noticing Han protect himself by releasing steam as a shield. The 3 insurgents were cooked alive, their screams of pain echoing through the forest. A masked woman emerged from behind a tree and charged at Fu. That's her! Koiki recognized her. That's the woman that kidnapped Naruto. Fu tossed Koiki into the soft snow and flew toward the assailant. While the princess rose back to her feet, the Jinchuriki charged at her foe, attempting to punch her. The older kunoichi dodged the blow and retaliated with an elbow strike. The defendant deflected the attack, and her assailant prepared to punch her next. Incoming! Han's foot connected with the kunoichi's mask, shattering it utterly and revealing a beautiful face twisted in a snarl of pain. The kunoichi, propelled backward, twisted on herself. Landing on her feet, she quickly charged forward, drawing a knife and leaking killing intent. The two Jinchuriki charged together, their arms raised. They dodged the weapon and punched the kunoichi's face at the same time. The woman vanished like a mirage. A shriek of surprise resonated through the forest. Fu paled and glanced at the princess. After image, the kunoichi explained, her knife within an inch of Koiki's throat. The technique that earned me my ANB rank. For a split second, I moved so fast I could fool a hawk's vision. But if you take a step forward, I assure you the princess' death won't be a trick of the eyes. Who are you? Koiki asked calmly, managing to keep her composure even as a hostage. You do not look like a snownin. My name is Kagura, the woman replied coldly. Princess Koiki, I am afraid to say your uncle Dodo died from a terrible accident. My condolences. Dodo's dead? Koiki frowned. I don't believe you. Believe whatever you want, your uncle is gone, Kagura replied. Fortunately, Akatsuki will assume control of the land in order to bring peace to it. I hope you have no objection. Han and Fu instantly tensed at the mention of the dreaded organization. Koiki, who had no knowledge of the name, simply narrowed her eyes. Why are you doing all of this? She asked. Why must we cause such a senseless bloodshed? You ask why? Kagura shrugged. Because the hidden villages are weak. They are afraid of their own power. If a technique is too powerful, they label it kinjutsu and forbid its use. When Orochimaru-sama made great breakthroughs in the enhancement of ninjas, they attempted to destroy his research. The leaf could have ruled the entire world if it exploited kinjutsus like Edo Tensei, but instead it is decaying. That's why I left that pathetic village, Kagura chuckled. Akatsuki doesn't care if a technique is forbidden, or if a method is too extreme to be used. It cares only about victory. The hidden villages have already lost the coming war. They just don't know it yet, so you're ready to murder anybody for social advancement? Koiki spat on the ground. That's disgusting. You have no idea how powerful we are, Kagura replied. Our leader is a god. When you cannot beat them, join them. I'm simply on the winning team, the woman shrugged. You could join it as well, princess. You could keep your throne, if you bent the knee to Leader-sama. Akatsuki will make your country a strong land. You just have to accept the new order. I will not kneel before a bunch of kidnappers and criminals, Koiki said. Who said about you having a choice? Kagura snorted. When Sasori-sama is finished rewriting your memories, you will be more loyal to Leader-sama than a trained dog. I've heard enough, Fu said. Han, let's save the princess and kick her ass. Prepare to suffer a fantastic defeat. The giant boasted. The both of you won't be enough, Kagura replied. Your defeat will be my ascension to the 10 rings. You think you can take us both on? Fu asked. No. A red seal appeared on Kagura's forehead, taking the shape of an open eye. I believe you will take yourself out. Suddenly, a red aura surrounded the eye, moving toward the duo like a ghost. Fu dodged it by flying above the ground, but Han took the aura head on. The ghostly projectile did no damage, instead vanishing upon contact. Ha! The Han felt nothing. Han replied. The Han? Han? Fu asked, seeing Han hold his head. Han, are you alright? Ha! Han roared madly, his eyes turning completely blank. The red aura started surrounding him, and the Jinchuriki released a powerful, crushing killing intent. That's the warp spasm, Kagura smirked, a kinjutsu that drives the victim berserk with rage. In his state, your pal cannot distinguish between foes and friends. The Gobi's chakra will probably expel it, but by then, you will have been beaten within an inch of life. Now, if you excuse me, I have a secret weapon to unlock. She vanished alongside Koiki in a whirlwind of snow. Princess! Fu shouted, only to get Han attempting to punch her as a result. The girl stepped out of the way, her friend's fist shattering a tree in half. Han, I'm not your enemy. You can fight this seal. The giant's response was to throw the broken tree at her face. Dodging the attack once more, Fu ground her teeth. Fine, she said, I will break you out of it forcefully. On the way to his cell, Naruto put in action the second part of his plan. Fortunately, all the guys leading to his cell were ninjas of the land of snow. Perfect. I feel bad for you guys, he said. Working with Akatsuki will be painful. Shut up, Nadar said. You're the cause of all of this. I mean, they're led by guys like Orochimaru and Itachi Uchiha, Naruto continued, The first dissects his own underlings and the second killed his whole family just to see if he could. I get the feeling you aren't going to live long. Nadar stopped walking, much to the other snow ninjas' surprise. The hell, boss? You know I'm saying the truth, Naruto stated. I heard rumors, the ninja admitted, only to be interrupted by another group of snow ninja. What's happening? The insurgents are attacking the castle, and they've got leaf ninjas with them, the man said. Princess Koyuki is leading them. What must we do, Koyuki? Naruto narrowed his eyes. I see, this works even better. No matter, Nadar said, we will survive, as we always did. If you were fighting a bunch of peasants, maybe, Naruto shrugged, but you heard Akatsuki, the Nanabai and the Gobi are out there, and unlike me, no chakra suppressing device to restrain them. The one reason they didn't destroy this castle already is that I'm in it, the blonde smirked. Besides, how do you think Konoha will react when they learn you abducted their Jinchuriki? They will go to war with you, and you will lose badly. You might have tech, but challenging the might of a great nation is beyond your meager troops, and we know it both. Konoha is far away, while Akatsuki is in this very castle, Nadara shot back. And other nations like Iwa are closer, and they're a little more warmongering than Konoha, Naruto said. You really think they're going to tolerate a bunch of missing nin killing a daimyo and taking over? They can't. It would give ideas to their own foes. You're going to be crushed and made an example out of for the rest of the world. And even if, by some miracle, you manage to hold your ground, you won't get to live long either. Doto, although a usurper, was part of the royal family. He was legitimate. Kagura isn't. Neither the other nations nor the population will accept her as ruler. Face it, you're on the losing side right now. The snow ninjas began to whisper among themselves. Nadar, maybe we should. Do what? We've nowhere to go. The ninja ground his teeth. You want to desert and live as a miserable missing nin the rest of your life? Look, guys, Naruto said, getting rid of the ropes, I've got a proposition for you. Weren't you tied? That was 5 minutes ago, Naruto shrugged. I could have broken out any time, but I want to lessen the bloodshed. I can save your sorry ass if you do as I say, Nadara frowned. He didn't like it, but Naruto guessed listening to the blonde was the lesser evil. Speak. The military of the Land of Snow must turn on Akatsuki's troops and open the castle's gates, Naruto said. Then join the rebellion. Say now that Doto is dead, you have decided to join the last, rightful ruler of the Land of Snow, and how much you regretted fighting her, etc. Whatever sentimental bullshit you need to make the story believable. That's insane, Nadar said. We overthrew Koiki's father. She will never trust us, or let us go. She doesn't have a choice, Naruto admitted. Koiki wants peace in the Land of Snow, and she knows this option reduces the bloodshed. Besides, she needs the military to keep order. She will grant you amnesty. She won't like it, but she will do it. And if she refuses, Konoha will support you. They can't afford a civil war in the Land of Snow. A swift change of leader is all the leaf wants. If you do as I tell you, I promise every single one of you will get out of this shit as clean as the day you were born. Nadar glared at the blonde. You planned for all of this, he stated. You planned it all along. Hell no, Naruto replied with a foxy grin. I improvised on the fly. Doesn't that make you feel so much better? The ninja inhaled sharply, and glanced at his men. Spread the word, Nadar declared, that Koiki Kazuhana is the rightful ruler of the Land of Snow. We do not recognize Akatsuki's authority, and will do everything in our power to wipe their forces out of this castle. Open the gates to the rebels and join them. Nadar then touched the chakra-suppressing device and removed it. Now that we're friends, there is one last thing, Naruto said. I need my weapons back, and most importantly, I wondered if you could let me borrow one of yours. Fighting Han, for thought, was like for the wind to fight the mountain. A mountain that could run and smash. Fu was nothing if not fast and agile. She could dodge, she could fly, she could avoid hits and retaliate with firepower. But she wasn't that resistant to direct damage. Her fighting style relied on being fast enough to dodge and counterattack. Han, meanwhile, was strong and enduring. One of his punches would knock her out instantly, and he could take quite a beating. Under normal circumstances, she would have stayed away, and adopted a hit-and-run tactic. At least, if Han wasn't that damn fast. The man moved so fast each of his hits barely missed Fu, forcing the girl to fly above the ninja. Gathering his strength in his legs, Han jumped and grabbed the girl's knee, attempting to crush it. The Nanabai's vessel moved in circles, forcing Han to drop and land on a car-sized boulder. Han, I'm not your foe, Fu shouted. Fight the seal. I don't want to hurt you, Han replied by effortlessly lifting the boulder and tossing it at the Nanabai's vessel. The girl dodged before descending. She punched Han's torso with all her strength at the speed of a cannonball. Han barely flinched and raised his arm. Fu moved backward, dodging a deadly punch. However, Han used his momentum to charge forward and tackled Fu with his shoulder. The strength behind the blow wouldn't have disgraced a raging ox. She crashed against a tree, the aftershock shattering the bark upon impact. Had the chakra wings not absorbed a bit of the shock, the attack would have destroyed the girl's spine. Grunting in pain, the kunoichi managed to move away, dodging a kick from Han. The giant's foot and leg went through the tree, briefly trapping the enraged Jinchuriki. Suddenly, Fu got an idea. Nana, she thought, can you help me change the dust's properties? You want gum? Lots of it. The Jinchuriki inhaled sharply and spat adhesive gum at Han's leg, keeping the man attached to the tree. Han roared and attempted to free himself, his mere strength enough to slowly uproot the tree. Working faster, Fu spat gum after gum, first keeping the giant's legs adhered, before pinning the giant to the ground. Han snarled, but couldn't move enough to free himself. Han, Fu whispered, please, calm yourself, breathe easy. Han was not in the land of snow. Han was back in his childhood, in the streets of Iwa. Do you know who I am? He asked two punks. Although they were older, Han was one head taller. Do you know who I am? Get lost, horseface, one of them snorted. Nobody likes you. Han snarled and punched the punk, starting a brawl. The two teamed up on Han, punched him, kicked him, bit him, but the Jinchuriki was stronger and faster, repaying each blow with one of his own. The duo ended up running away. That's right, run! Han snarled. Cowards! Han, the fuck are you doing? The voice belonged to an old, red-haired shinobi, clad in purple clothes and carrying a bottle of sake. Where did that bite mark come from? From nowhere, Rashi. Nowhere. You fought again, Rashi snorted. You got beat up pretty bad. I beat them harder. Why? So they will remember my name. Han snarled. That way, they will respect me and stop calling me horseface. Oh, poor boy, Rashi said sarcastically. You want their respect? You can't get their respect. They're stupid, and stupid don't get smart overnight. You're a Jinchuriki, now and forever, deal with that. You say I let them call me horseface? Han glared at the old man. I'm Han. I don't want to be called anything else, Rashi snorted, and grabbed Han's hat, much to the kid's displeasure. Give it back. That was a gift. I know, I gave it to you. Rashi snorted. But you've got to listen to me. Why should I listen to a drunk old chimpanzee? I'm as sober as a newborn lamb. Rashi lied through his teeth, swallowing a gulp of sake next. And the Yonbi isn't a chimpanzee, it's a gorilla. And I'm a pit of priceless wisdom, so shut your big mouth and learn. Han crossed his arms. Alright, go on, Han, Rashi said, pointing his finger at the boy's heart. The secret of true respect lies here. The lung? No, you idiotic punk, that's the heart. Rashi said. You've got to respect yourself, otherwise no one else will. You've got to be at peace with yourself if you want to be at peace with the cosmos, young disciple. You sound like a self-help booklet, Han shot back. I am trying to help you, midget. I'm nearly as tall as you. That's the problem, Han, Rashi said. Anytime someone belittles you, you strike with anger. Anger leads to hate and I think it's pain next. Anyway, that's not how you must do it. You must be above these insults and these words. They only have power if you give them power. Let them breeze like the wind on the mighty mountain. So what should I do? Let them mock me? No, Rashi said. When someone belittles you, take it as an invitation to be better than this twit. Don't focus on trying to burn the trash. Step over it. Do great, daring things. You mustn't be Han the thug or Han the boy. You must become the Han, the one and only. You must be larger than them, and then, and only then, will your name be remembered. So, I must become the Han, instead of just a Han. The giant scratched his hair. That sounds pretty cool. It is, Rashi said, putting the hat back on the kid's head. The Gobi has a true name too, and if you earn his trust, then you will have the right to call him that. And he will become my friend? Yeah, Rashi smirked, and later you'll earn the trust of others, and form bonds with them. But if they reject me? Han asked. What if they hate me for being a Jinchuriki? Then they weren't your friends at all, Rashi said. A friend is someone who break you out of hell, if you're stupid enough to end there. They're rare, but you will value them, just as much as they will value you. With these words, the memory vanished, replaced with a snowy forest, and, Fo? The giant blinked. Why is the Han covered in gum? The girl smirked. No reason, Han, she said, no reason at all. While Anko and Tenten led the charge in the snowy forest, they were quickly welcomed by a powerful shot being fired. The two kunoichi managed to dodge, as did Sendeu, but 5 soldiers were blown apart like rag dolls. The responsible party walked into view, ready to fight. Bando, Anko recognized him, A-rank criminal. I should have known your kind was involved. You always are when there's pointless bloodshed. Everywhere there is war, there is profit to be made. Bando smiled. I'm a mere merchant of death, after all. Leave him to us Konohanines, Anko told Sendeu. Get out of the area and assault the castle. Good luck, the soldier nodded, quickly leaving with his troops. Why bother fighting? Bando asked politely. Can't we strike a deal? We're both mercenaries, we've got the same motive. Tell me how much Konoha pays you. I'll double, no, triple your pay. Sorry, it's not about the money, Tenten said. You abducted a friend. That's priceless. Don't tell me you work pro bono, Bando mused. I guess I'll keep my money and cut off our losses right there and now. Wind release. Air bullet. Anko snarled, spitting out bullets of compressed air at Bando. The man dodged and landed on the snow, quickly retaliating with a blast of focused orange chakra. Tenten put herself in the way and opened a scroll. The seals on it absorbed the blast, causing Bando to grind his teeth in rage. The seals full, Tenten tossed the scroll away and charged forward, backed up by Anko. Bando gathered chakra above his forehead, giving it the shape of a sphere and propelling it forward with a headbutt. The 2 kunoichi leapt out of the range of the projectile, which caused a powerful explosion upon impacting with the ground, flashing the snow into steam. Her vision slightly clouded, Tenten opened another of her scrolls, releasing 5 spears aimed at Bando. The mercenary dodged, his right arm surrounded by a long whip of chakra. Bando cracked it at Tenten, forcing her to leap backwards. The criminal pressed forward, swinging his weapon frantically. Anko emerged from the steam cloud, her left hand surrounded by 4 long snakes. The reptiles extended and bit into Bando's flesh arm, making him hiss. More out of rage than pain, however, the colossus grabbed the snakes with his hand, cooking the reptiles alive by releasing his strong chakra. Anko ignored her summons death wails, and raced towards her foe. Dodging his whip, the older kunoichi punched Bando's jaw with an uppercut. The blow was powerful enough to propel Bando 1 meter above the ground. Before the giant could land, Anko rotated and kicked the man's chest with all her strength. One rib broke in a loud, sickening cracking noise, and Bando crashed against a tree. Now! Anko ordered, launching a volley of air bullets at Bando. Tenten followed, opening a scroll and unleashing a volley of weapons in the criminal's direction. Bando quickly rose to his feet and roared. A layer of orange chakra covered the man's skin, repelling the projectiles. Bando laughed in ecstasy, the power racing through his veins. His arm cannon shined brightly, empowered. Bando laughed, and opened fire. Instead of a single blast, the cannon unleashed an endless volley of fireballs, each of them exploding upon impact. Tenten, too slow to dodge, was only saved when Anko grabbed her by the shirt and leapt away. Bando's projectiles crashed at random, devastating the landscape, and the kunoichi could only hide behind a thick oak to protect themselves. He's going to set the entire forest on fire, Anko noted, as fire rained down all around their improvised shelter. If the fire doesn't kill us, the smoke will. Tenten attempted to look at Bando, only for a projectile to barely miss her face. I can't aim straight, she complained, Sensei. I will use an earth technique to dig a way out, Anko said, slamming her palms. If the forest doesn't crumble on itself, that is. Wait! Tenten cut in, searching in her pockets. I think I have a solution. Anko raised an eyebrow, observing the item the teen had brought out. A bouncing ball? Tenten took the bouncing ball and analyzed the fireball's trajectory, attempting to calculate an angle and pinpoint Bando's location. Get out of your hole! Bando snarled, firing continuously and without aim. You've got nowhere to hide. Neither do you, Tenten replied, launching the bouncing ball. The ball bounded off one tree, then another, before entering Bando's cannon, the fire inside the barrel instantly detonating the ball. The following explosion dwarfed all of Bando's blasts, and the entire forest shook. When the dust and snow powder settled, the onslaught had stopped. Anko and Tenten glanced at their target. All that remained of Bando were a bunch of mutilated limbs and charred bones. Remind me never to piss you off, brat, Anko told Tenten. You're pretty scary. Never anger a female human. Kids, Manda told the younger snakes. They're deadlier and crueler than the males. Meanwhile, Naruto continued before his reptilian listeners. Koyuki was at Kagura's mercy. I decided maybe, just maybe, it was time for me to channel my inner Rock Lee and have my own dynamic entry, a heat generator. The land of snow's treasure turned out to be a giant heat generator. Koyuki glanced at the area, the sight bringing back memories. The frozen lake's ice resisted the surge in temperature, but the snow all around it was melting away slowly. Her father hadn't lied. He truly found a way to bring spring to the land. Your father was a genius, Kagura smiled. Don't you see the potential applications of this generator? With a few precise manipulations of temperatures on a national level, it could affect the world's climate. It could cause tsunamis, start tornadoes, sink islands, or debut an ice age. I shudder to think what Pain-sama could do with it. Her back was turned on the princess, which was an opportunity. The princess grabbed her ceremonial sword. If I had a father, I would do my best to honor his memory. The words echoed in her head, and Koyuki realized she needed to take them to heart. I can't let this woman defile my father's work, she thought, her decision taken. She slowly sneaked up behind the gloating kunoichi. Then, gathering her courage, she attempted to impale the woman from behind. Kagura instantly turned around, grabbed Koyuki's arm, and disarmed her by twisting her wrist. The princess gasped in pain. You dare attack me? The kunoichi asked, a knife appearing in her free hand. You dare? Koyuki hesitated, but clenched her teeth. I dare, she said. I won't let you transform my father's work into a weapon. You will have to step over my corpse to do it. Fine, Kagura whispered, raising her weapon. Too bad, you would have been a nice figurehead. Koyuki waited for a death that never came. An arrow flew forward, aimed at Kagura's head. The ninja deflected it with a swing of her knife, only for the projectile to explode into a cloud of smoke. Although the princess couldn't see anything, she felt someone grabbing her by the waist and then running away, emerging from the smoke cloud and then stopping on the other side of the area. Koyuki glanced at her savior's face, and her eyes widened in recognition. You came back. I told you I would, boasted the blonde Jinchuriki. He had traded his orange clothes for one of Doto's white chakra armors, and carried an odd device looking like a long metal rod. He placed Koyuki on the ground, as far from Kagura as he could. Sorry to be late, I had to change wardrobes. The princess shook her head. Thanks for saving me. She paled, upon remembering Kagura's latest fight. Your friends are safe. Naruto turned around, glancing at a surprised Kagura, and prepared to fight. I'll take care of Snow White there. Stay back, Naruto. Koyuki smiled. Win. Naruto smirked back, before focusing back on Kagura. Hey, I've got the lady's favor. Nothing can stop me now. You really believe a piece of scrap metal will save you, boy? Kagura mocked. I was an ANBU once. There is no way a mere genin, even a Jinchuriki, is going to beat me. I thought our last meeting had taught you that. I know. It's like a pawn facing a king. Naruto shrugged. But face it, you've lost the war. The snow ninjas abandoned you. The castle already fell, and your forces have been decimated. Even if you beat me, you are not getting out of the land of snow alive. You better surrender. Surrender to Konoha? Kagura spat on the ground. I would rather fight and take my chance, Naruto snorted. Then bring it. Kagura didn't waste time and charged, sliding on the ice with grace and speed, her knife surrounded by a shroud of blue chakra. Naruto waited for her to come, calculating his strategy. He didn't know the limits of the chakra armor, nor its weaponry, so he would have to rely on his own skills while exploiting the armor's resistance to ninjutsu to even the field. Naruto charged forward, his armor's special heals allowing him to keep his mobility on ice. When his opponent entered its range, the Jinchuriki unloaded his flamethrower in her direction. The flames consumed Kagura, but left no body behind. An afterimage, Naruto ducked low, as the knife missed the back of his head. Turning around, he kicked Kagura's left breast, propelling her away. The kunoichi landed on the ice, more surprised than hurt. How did you learn about my techniques? Hey, some of us do memorize the bingo book's info. Naruto shot back. Nothing in your arsenal will surprise me. I don't need to surprise you. The difference in power between us is all I need. The deadly assassin threw the knife toward Naruto at high speed, aiming for the head. The blonde managed to dodge it, but Kagura exploited the opening to launch a jutsu. Fire release, Inferno Palm. Opening her palm in Naruto's direction, Kagura unleashed a stream of blue flames. The blonde raised his arms, the chakra armor activating. The missing means chakra vanished before it entered contact with the metal, fully absorbed. Kagura's confidence turned into surprise, and much to Naruto's delight, a hint of panic. What? Unleashing a burst of fire in his opponent's direction, the young Konohanin put her on the defensive. Kagura snarled and used the jutsu, creating a shield of swirling water out of moisture. The water took the shape of a dome, shielding the kunoichi from harm. You aren't so impressive without your ninjutsu, are you? The Jinchuriki taunted, hoping to goad Kagura into close combat. Without it, you can't even keep up with a civilian. The dome exploded into steam, and Kagura quickly reappeared, skating on the ice at high speed. As she circled around Naruto, the Jinchuriki kept pressuring her with his flamethrower. The missing nin made hand seals, knives materializing out of thin air, each of them aimed for Naruto's exposed head. Fortunately, the woman didn't have Tenten's natural accuracy. Naruto easily dodged the projectiles, and Kagura grew annoyed. The flamethrower's fire started to melt the ice under the duelists. Kagura covered her skin with a layer of chakra, obviously switching tactics. Suddenly jerking, Kagura changed her trajectory and raced forward Naruto, unsheathing her tanto and sharpening it with her chakra. The Jinchuriki reacted faster and burned her with a burst of flames, only for the afterimage to vanish, the real Kagura attempting to behead Naruto from the side. Quickly tossing his flamethrower away, Naruto unsheathed his own tanto and parried as best he could. The mere aftershock pushed him backwards, and Kagura quickly charged once more, attempting a horizontal swing. Lowering himself, Naruto barely avoided decapitation once again, before exploiting Kagura's loss of momentum to retaliate with a slash of his own. Unfortunately, the layer of chakra over Kagura's skin stopped the tanto, deflecting it. Alright, Naruto thought, let's see how much chakra this armor can deflect. Naruto unleashed a powerful kick at Kagura's chest, his foot getting past the chakra and hitting her at full force. Her chakra-second skin was nearly instantly dissipated by the armor's device, leaving her defenseless. The missing nin grunted in rage, and took a step backward, trying to put as much space as she could between her foe and herself. You aren't going to get away, Naruto taunted, charging forward. Kagura parried a slash with her sword, using it as an improvised shield, before pushing the Jinchuriki back with a push. So? How does it feel to be outmatched by a real ninja? Really? Kagura glanced at Koyuki. If you're a true ninja, then you should seek victory by any means necessary. Then, she raised an arm in the terrified princess' direction and unleashed a burst of blue fire at her. You coward! Naruto snarled, putting himself in the flame burst's way. The armor quickly dissipated the attack, but the woman exploited the opening to charge at Naruto, raising her blade and preparing to perform a vertical strike. One that would cut the Jinchuriki in half. Farewell, Uzumaki. Kagura swinging her weapon. You weren't that impressive. What happened next occurred within fractions of a second. Naruto slashed forward, while slightly moving to the right. Naruto's tanto went through Kagura's chest, progressing between the ribs and impaling the lungs. It would matter little. Her blade would cut him in half all the same. However, Naruto's position turned a mutual kill into a decisive victory, as Kagura's sword impacted on the chakra-deflecting device, shattering it. Fortunately, the steel stopped the strike and preventing it from reaching the flesh, although the mere aftershock broke Naruto's shoulder, making the Jinchuriki grind his teeth in pain. The ice under the duelists broke down under the pressure. Before Naruto could realize what happened, both him and Kagura fell into the lake's cold water. The blonde Jinchuriki shivered, as his entire body became submerged. His own head underwater, the blonde glanced at the surface. Naruto attempted to swim back above the water, only for a hand to grab his leg and pull him under. She's still alive, Naruto panicked, facing Kagura. The kunoichi's blood tainted the water's red, and her bright eyes shined with rage. Her survival instinct and sword were both gone. Now, all she wanted was to take the Jinchuriki down with her. Grabbing Naruto's neck with both her hands, Kagura started strangling him. The blonde attempted to push her back to no avail, as the missing nin stubbornly refused to let him go. As he felt his vision grow darker, Naruto grabbed his tanto, still embedded in Kagura's chest. Withdrawing it from his foe's flesh, making Kagura grunt in pain, Naruto then impaled the kunoichi's head through the eye. Kagura coughed out blood in one final gasp, and her lifeless hands let go of Naruto. Her corpse sank in the lake's darkest waters. Refusing to end up like her, Naruto attempted to swim above the water, but his breath began to fail him. His vision blurred, and the dizzy blonde started sinking down. A hand reached his forearm, and pulled him out of the water, onto the lake's remaining solid ice. Laying on his knees and forearms, Naruto coughed out water, his savior patting his back to help the process. Well, Koike said, that was close. Yeah. Naruto panted, finishing coughing out the last water. He glanced at Koike, and smirked upon seeing her worried expression. If you want, you can give me a kiss of life. It would help me breathe better. Much to his surprise, the princess' response wasn't an annoyed glare, but a small, amused smirk. Naruto didn't know how to react to that. He simply shivered, still freezing in place. "I need a fire," he said through his chattering teeth. "We should get closer to the generator," Koike suggested. "It would warm you up." "You do realize your father's device just killed the polar bears?" Naruto joked. Global warming. While Koike chuckled, Naruto glanced at the scenery and enjoyed this vision of spring. The coronation of the daimyo of the newly named Land of Spring was a very public affair. Koike was crowned by Sandae before hundreds of people, her uncle Doto all but forgotten. Naruto didn't especially enjoy such events. Too many faces he didn't know, and he felt naked without his weapons. Still, he had decided to go along, trading his chakra armor for an orange kimono. His friends had done the same, except Han. "Han, I know you love your armor," Fu coughed, clad as she was in her green kimono. "And I know you love your hat, but just switch clothes, you idiot," Anko said. She and Tenten had let their hair down, and both of them were wearing brown yukata. "The Han's face is too great for mere mortals to watch," the giant replied. "It would burn you to cinders, or turn you into salt." "May, you don't have to hide your face, Han," Fu noted. "In term of weirdness, we have seen everything." "Fu, the Han." Han coughed. "I'm sorry." "What?" "The Han is sorry he attacked you. The Han apologizes, and hopes he is still your friend." "You weren't yourself, Han," Fu smirked, patting the giant's back. "No harm done." Although the man's face was hidden under his mask, Naruto was certain Han was smiling beneath it. "Here," Anko said, handing over a tanto to Naruto his tanto. "I recovered it from Kagura's corpse." "Thanks," Naruto said, grabbing the weapon and hiding it under his sleeve. "So, she's really dead?" "Not just mostly dead, she's gone, and as such, her 20 million Ryo bounty goes to you," Tenten smirked, "while I got 10 million for killing Bando. By the way, you confirmed what I always thought," Naruto chuckled. "You can kill people with bouncing balls." Yeah, well, look at that." Tenten brought a sheet of paper from underneath her kimono and opened it. It was the plan of some sort of huge piece of artillery. "What the hell is that?" Naruto asked. "That's the plans of Bando's cannon prosthesis," Tenten said. "The ANB recovered it from one of his henchmen." "And you plan to make one for yourself?" "I will do better than that. I will make one bouncing ball proof." Tenten grinned. "I think I'm going to call her Gustav." "That sucks!" Han shouted. "The Hans Troyer is better. Why don't you just call her the RY? No, rip you a new one." Naruto joked. "Or Mojo Jejo?" Big Bertha, Fu said. "I don't know, it sounds pretty nice." "The Hans Terminator," Han suggested. "Or the Annihilator." "Megas XLR," Naruto nodded as if making the final decision. "We can decide what the letters mean later." "The Megaton," Anko offered. "The Fat Man." "Fat Man is nice," Tenten decided. "Fat Man it is." Meh, the Han still thinks the Wonder Han would have been great. Naruto noticed although Anko enjoyed herself, she seemed a little sorrowful. "What's up, sensei?" "You know, Kagura was part of my class in the academy," Anko said. "We were never friends, but we were comrades. We became Chunin the same year, and worked together on a few missions before she defected. Although she was a traitor, I'm kinda sad she died alone and disgraced. She had such a bright future ahead when she started her career." Anko chuckled. "I nearly defected once," she admitted. "I was so consumed by my hate of Orochimaru I nearly left the leaf to track him down. In another world Kagura might have been your sensei, and I the one drowning in a lake." "I feel lucky to live in this world then," Naruto chuckled. "You would have killed me with your hands tied." Anko smiled sadly. "Some bonds can't resist what the life of a shinobi puts in their way, Naruto," she replied. "In time, it will happen to you as well. The key to living with it is to accept the inevitable and move on." Naruto nodded. "I understand. By the way, have you seen how I played the Snonins like puppets? That should earn me a promotion, right?" "You mean after you got captured?" Anko mocked with a childish smirk. "Hey, I was bluffing them," Naruto replied. "It wasn't capture, it was tactical infiltration." "Yeah, right," Anko snorted. "However, I admit you exploited the situation well. You've got leadership skills, brat. I can see you ending as a division commander." "I'm not strong enough for that yet." "Who asked you to be strong?" Anko sneered. "ANBU Commander Danzo is much weaker than Kakashi, and yet he outranks him. We need strong ninja, yes, but no one asks for a leader to be physically strong. Only to be good at leading his men and have foresight. You might rise up through the ranks sooner than you think." "Speaking of leadership, I wonder why Kagura openly killed Doto instead of simply intimidating him, or subtly sabotaging his efforts," Naruto whispered. I can't see what Akatsuki really had to gain in this staging a doomed coup the 5 nations would never tolerate. Kagura acted on her own, Anko replied. When an organization grows too large, it is inevitable for rogue agents to flourish. Not even Akatsuki is immune to infighting. Yet, Kagura was confident Akatsuki's leadership would support her. Naruto said someone convinced her they would back her up. Something is up. I just can't see what yet. We will worry about that in time, Anko said, glancing at somebody. For the time being, let's focus on the end of our current mission. Naruto realized the princess had left the balcony, joining the group. The land of snow has a debt to you it can never repay, Koyuki told the ninja team, bowing slightly. From a head of state, it truly was a powerful gesture. Words cannot express my gratitude. If you ever need my help, I will do everything I can to assist. Thank you, for replied. We didn't do much. It's your subjects that did most of the work. We fulfilled our mission, and Sandeya no, the newly installed Prime Minister paid us more than the promised amount, Anko noted. But honestly? I would have helped your country pro bono if needed. The Han was happy to Han your foes the best he could. It was an unforgettable experience. If you ever need protection again, you know who to call, Tenten smirked. We were all happy to help, Naruto said. And most importantly, I'm happy you're happy. The princess nodded, locking eyes with the blonde Jinchuriki next. Naruto, Koyuki asked, I wished to speak with you alone. I have a proposition for you. Orochimaru, a puppeteer asked, why did you do it? The snake Sannin grinned at his partner. You will have to be more specific, he said, not sparing his ally a glance. I make so many schemes I often forget one or two. The Land of Snow's mission was a fiasco, Sasori whispered. Kagura was to steal their chakra armor and to ensure the leaf would not depose Doto. Nobody gave her the order to stage a coup, neither did I, Orochimaru whispered. Leader Sama explicitly said secrecy was our best ally, and we were not ready for open actions yet. Kagura obviously acted on her own. Kagura would never have dared going this far had she not been given at least a tacit accord, Sasori replied. Our influence on the country is crippled for at least a decade, and I know you had a hand in this. I just cannot guess why. Alright, maybe I told her she needed to go farther than the mission to impress Pain and join the leadership, Orochimaru whispered, but thinking I planned for her mission to fail and to sabotage Akatsuki's operations in the region. You wound me so deeply, Sasori. I was just trying to encourage a new recruit. The Sannin felt his partner's glare upon his back. One day, Orochimaru, you are going to betray the wrong person, Sasori warned. Your treacheries are going to catch up to you, sooner or later. Believe what you wish, Sasori, the Sannin thought, when the invasion is over. I will tolerate Pain's authority no longer. The Land of Snow did not seem to be a fitting name any longer. As he watched the green forests and prairies from the castle's balcony, Naruto wondered if they would have to change the name of the region. How long will the generator last? No longer than a season, Koyuki said. However, engineers are examining it. If we take what we know and persevere, the Land of Snow will become the Land of Spring in no time. It's a nice name, Naruto said. Your father would have been proud. I guess changing identity is off the table? The people of this land have suffered from a brutal dictatorship for a decade, the princess replied. It is my duty to make their future brighter. You were right. I wish to honor my father's memory by ruling as generously as he did. So, no more Princess Gale movies? The news should have made him happy, yet Naruto only felt a little sorrow at his friend abandoning her career. Don't be silly, Koyuki smiled. I will keep playing for the camera. I will have more than enough free time, and I quite like the challenge. So now you're going to be a princess, playing a princess? Naruto smirked. You're going to play as yourself, Koyuki smirked back. Naruto, she started. Why don't you stay in the Land of Spring, instead of returning to Konoha? Naruto's jaw dropped. What? I will need help to reform the Land of Snow, Koyuki said. Why don't you become my advisor? I have considered making you head of the military. Naruto's heart briefly stopped beating, and he glanced at the princess. Are you kidding me? He asked. You can't be serious. I am very serious, Fujike shot back. Not everybody will be happy with it, but I need someone I trust in the role. You have showed more than enough leadership skill when you convinced the Land of Snow's ninjas to join me. Besides, most of the old leadership was too compromised with Doto's regime to be trusted. What about Nadar? Strangely, Nadar and most of the ninjas that participated in Doto's coup suffered from tragic incidents. Koyuki intertwined her fingers. I only punished the ringleaders, sparing most of their underlings. They were too happy to keep their jobs and few had spoke against this purge. I would have gotten rid of all of them if I could have, But this land suffered enough bloodshed already. Good to know, but the populace will never accept a foreigner as a military leader. You have become a folk hero here, Naruto. The kids just can't stop whispering tales how you beheaded a dreaded missing Nin, with only your trusty sword as protection. She drowned to death after being stabbed in the face, and had I not worn that chakra armor, she would have soundly kicked my butt. I like the other version better, Koyuki chuckled. I have more than enough support to appoint you as a Yukikage, I guess. Yukikage. Naruto had to admit the title sounded good. However, there was only one answer possible for him to give her. I appreciate the offer, Naruto explained, but let's face it. Me? Deserting Konoha for another nation? That would start a colossal diplomatic incident, and most probably a war. Your country has suffered enough, princess. Besides, I don't love Konoha itself, but I love some people there. I'll pass. The daimyo didn't hide her disappointment, but Naruto patted her shoulder. Don't worry, I'll visit you when I can, he said, before realizing he probably broke half the basic rules of protocol by touching a head of state so casually. Koyuki didn't appear to care for it either, for she hugged the blonde, much to his surprise. The Jinchuriki hesitated, before returning the hug. Take care then, my friend, the princess said. Know that the doors of the Land of Spring will always be open to you and your team. Thank you, Naruto gently broke the hug. I'm touched beyond words. There is one last thing, Koyuki said, offering a small crystal to Naruto. Naruto glanced at it. That's your necklace. The real one. Take it. I can't, Naruto protested. That's a national treasure. Yes, hence why I want you to keep it, Koyuki explained. This way, you will always remember the Land of Snow, and our friendship. Naruto nodded, and put the pendant around his neck. Thank you? Koyuki. Koyuki's smile shined like the sun. Ah! The snakes said in unison. So cute. Did you kiss the princess next? A cobra asked. Naruto blushed in surprise. That's not a good question. Nah, that's a valid question, a viper commented, multiple snakes nodding. Did you kiss the princess next? Did you rule the Land of Snow happily ever after? Another boa asked. He's right in front of you, stupid, Manda commented. How could you want him to rule a country half a continent away? I love this ending better. Back to the subject. A viper snarled. Did you kiss the princess? Great, I have an army of Jiraiya's for listeners, Naruto deadpanned, still redder than a tomato. I won't tell anything. Come on. Give us the juicy details. Sorry, perverts, I just feel like messing with my audience, Naruto mocked. How did you come back to the Land of Fire? Manda asked. Did that giant idiot get seasick again? Nah. Han refused to use a boat ever again, and suggested strapping us to pigeon summons equipped with rockets. He wasn't kidding. In the end, Koyuki lent us the Land of Snow's airship to get back home. I hope there is a sequel, Smog said, like Trouble in the Land of Spring or Return of Akatsuki's Revenge the Reckoning. That was a story from Uzumaki Fox News, Naruto joked. Stay in tune for the next one. That was so obvious, Naruto thought as he observed the melody arm electric shocks could help modulate the sound waves to the right frequency. I can't believe I didn't think of it, it was so freaking obvious. I don't need chakra, just an electric battery. It's just a special radio. What are you doing? Apophis asked, as he crawled inside Naruto's room. I've found the way to produce a chakraless melody arm, Naruto whispered. It will take some time, but I can do it. I told you, you needed to clear your mind a little, Apophis said. By the way, I have been thinking, why didn't you take one of these chakra armors with you back to Konoha? 200 million. 200 million what? That's the cost of making one armor. Naruto shrugged. Why do you think the Land of Snow only gave them to its elite? Only a state or an organization as well-funded could afford getting one. You could have repaired the one you wore against Kagura. Chakra armors were created by the Land of Snow's scientists using a technology much more advanced than the shinobi nations. I had no way of repairing them without their assistance, and besides, the devices only deflect chakra. It wouldn't prevent Obito from shoving a knife in my eye, or Pain from throwing a building-sized boulder at my face. I was lucky Kagura mostly relied on her ninjutsu. Yet you used Tenten Seal. Tenten Seal worked by sucking the chakra of a large area, Naruto pointed out. Although it worked for a limited time, it was enough to disable long-range ninjutsu, and even Sasori's puppet body. But Tobi and Pain are a league above my cousin. The seal will fail before they do. Apophis stayed silent, and Naruto glanced at him. What are you thinking? If the Land of Snow could invent a chakra-suppressing device, maybe you could make your own? Apophis said. If they could do it, so can you. With the data you gained through the use of Tenten Seals, Maybe you could create a device with the strength of both the Land of Snow's machine and Tenten's seal, yet without their flaws? Naruto thought about it. In weeks? In a cave? With a box of scraps? An exciting challenge, don't you agree? It's not like I've anything better to do, Naruto admitted. It's worth a try. Apophis glanced at the Melody arm. A country with houses on wheels. It must have been like seeing the future. That's a foretaste of the age to come, Naruto replied. Kagura was right on one point. The hidden villages have lost a war before they begun it. Not the war against Akatsuki. The war against progress. I doubt ninjas will exist 50 years in the future. You said this tech was too expensive to be mass-produced. Naruto pointed out. Tomorrow, civilians will create their own cheaper armors. They will be powered by steam, coal, and oil. They will create anti-ninjutsu weapons. It's inevitable. I doubt the hidden villages will accept this. I managed to beat a former ANBU wearing one of those armors, Naruto said. It took 20 years of training for Kagura to reach her level? It took me 5 minutes to get familiarized with this armor enough to match her. That tech? That's the new face of warfare, the same way ninjutsu crushed old bows and arrows. It puts some of Akatsuki's actions under a new light, Apophis noted, the Samsara, their development of new weaponry, funding the mass production of radios and rain, cooperating with Doto. They're trying to make ninjutsu itself obsolete. Akatsuki considers itself a Red Dawn, Naruto said. I have seen what he meant while in AIM, by far the most advanced hidden village on the mainland. Both Obito and Pain know the ninjas are in their twilight. When the night has passed, they want their dawn to illuminate the world. They want the new age to be their age. In a twisted way, they're visionaries. But I can't let them succeed. A new age, an industrial age. I hope to live long enough to see it with my own eyes. Apophis glanced at Koiki's necklace. You could have asked her for help. You could have changed your name, and started a new life. That would have made her country a target for both the hidden villages and Akatsuki, and I am loath to put a good friend in danger. Besides, it makes a far more interesting story. Naruto, the despised outlaw, and his band of merry reptiles, challenging the worst criminals the world has ever seen. The serpent chuckled lightly. That would make a nice adventure film. Naruto grinned. Hey Apophis, you know what's the funniest thing with this mission in the Land of Snow? Come on, do tell. We never finished the damn movie. Chapter 19. Sasori's laboratory was appropriately akin to a scorpion's nest. Dark, humid and cold, the hideout had been built underground, underneath the land of wind's warm sands. One of Akatsuki's numerous bases across the continent, this hideout contained many treasures and experimental devices, the fruits of Sasori's collaboration with his old partner Orochimaru. Take everything you can find, Toby ordered his men, researchers' notes, weapons, test subjects. When we leave in 2 hours, we're going to bomb this lab to cover our tracks. Leave nothing of value behind. The multiple missing ninjas, the grunts and cannon fodder of the organization, quickly obeyed Akatsuki's new leader, while Kakuzu followed his commander through the dark corridors. As the oldest and most competent member of Akatsuki left, he had been officially promoted to second in command. You're truly mobilizing all our forces, Kakuzu noted, but I don't see how a bunch of dolls are going to help us attack the summit. It's not Sasori's dolls, Toby said. It's a collaboration project with Orochimaru Pain commissioned a year ago that has my attention. They arrived in front of a door, protected by dozens of seals. Nobody should have been able to cross it without Sasori's authorization, but Toby wasn't anybody. Grabbing Kakuzu, he phased through the door without a care in the world. Sasori's personal quarters were pretty disturbing, even by the lab's standards. The walls were covered with human-sized dolls of androgynous features. Under the light of the room's electric lamps, some appeared alive, glaring and smiling at the Akatsuki members. A few were probably backup bodies, others mere unfinished weapons. An item in a corner, however, attracted Toby's attention. It was a small dollhouse, containing a set of very realistic puppets. They were perfect replicas of a child Sasori, his parents, his grandparents, Nagato, and Kushina and Naruto Uzumaki. I guess in the end, this fool only desired a family of his own. Obito glanced at Naruto's puppet. Don't worry, Sasori. I will send him join you in the afterlife soon enough. Toby grabbed Naruto's imitation, and crushed it with his nimble fingers. Then, with a simple katon, he set the dollhouse on fire. Why did you do that? Kakuzu asked disapprovingly. An art collector would have paid us good for it. Too hideous for that, Toby shrugged, switching subject. Besides, soon, you will have all the money you can ask for. Has Haiden been recovered? Haiden has been freed and put under control, Kakuzu explained. Due to his immortality, Orochimaru used him as a test subject for experiments that should have been lethal. He's stronger than ever, if a bit unstable. With the rods, he should be manageable. As long as I am around, yes, he is. Honestly, at this point, he would just obey anyone giving him the ability to kill anything in his path. Good. Now we just need this weapon and the pieces shall be set for the checkmate. At this moment, he found them. 13 canisters, each of them with a red scorpion symbol painted on, alongside the word dangerous. The criminal carefully grabbed one and presented it to his accomplice. What's that? Our ace in the hole, Toby said with it. Our secret invasion will be a shining success. Her movements were but a blur, her skin and hair nothing but a gray mirage. Not because of her respectable speed, no, but because his eyes had deteriorated to the point he had trouble following her moves. Itachi couldn't even see colors anymore. The Uchiha genius grunted as Yugao skillfully managed to push him back against a tall tree. He narrowly dodged a bark-shattering punch, moving behind his sparring partner and attempting to hit her neck with his palm. Instead, she leaned like a snake, retaliating with a kick which he parried with his forearm. The next second, Yugao had rotated and faced him, obviously enjoying the thrill of the fight. Itachi managed to keep a straight face, but didn't share her enthusiasm. He had never been the most enduring member of his clan, and his entire fighting style revolved around hitting hard and fast. In a battle of attrition, she definitively had the advantage. Worse, his lungs felt on fire, and he struggled against his own body with each move until finally his body won. He put his hands over his mouth, in order to hide the fact he was coughing blood. Yugao stopped her assault, her eyes frowning. When were you going to tell us? She asked. She had figured it out. Never. I recognized those symptoms, she began. My late boyfriend had them too. You feel tired, you can never sleep, you have trouble breathing and cough up blood. Is your partner even aware of it? He suspects something, Itachi admitted, but I do not fight much these days, nor spar with him. His techniques tend to attract too much attention. I do not intend to bother Kisame with it. I owe him this much. You're aware this illness will kill you within 5 years at best if you do nothing? That's more than enough time. Your life doesn't have to end so quickly, Yugao countered. There are medical treatments. They cannot purge the disease, but they can slow off the effects and extend your life. You could live well past your 50s. Tsunade-sama might even cure you. All I wish is to kill pain, Itachi replied. Living past his death never entered my mind. Yugao locked eyes with him. Dying won't bring back your brother. Itachi felt as if he had been slapped on the face. Indeed, she had hit home. You cannot understand, he replied. I sacrificed everything for Sasuke. Everything. I forfeited my reputation, my future, my honor, my entire family for his sake. I was ready to forfeit my life, to die at his hand and go down in history as the villain, if it meant keeping him safe. Then pain. Itachi struggled to repress the memory of his brother's brutal death, glancing away. Yugao put her hand on his shoulder. I never was as attached to Sasuke as you had, she admitted, but I lost people very dear to me too. I know how it feels. That sense of loss, that despair, you mustn't let it consume you. You have other loved ones, other reasons to live, Itachi replied. I have nothing left. Nothing. Everything I did, everyone I sacrificed, all pointless. All I have now is my revenge. Imagine you kill pain, then what? Yugao frowned. You will simply lay down and die? Yes, Itachi confirmed bluntly. I will face punishment for my sins. The Uchiha clan and its curse will end with me. Her expression turned from sympathy to disapproval. You think your entire family deserved to die? We Uchiha have brought the world nothing but pain and misery, Itachi said. Had it not been for us, the Kyuubi would not have laid waste to Konoha, and Akatsuki would not threaten the world today. Sasuke was our last hope of redemption, and now, Itachi Uchiha, Yugao cut in, her eyes growing cold. You are being selfish. Itachi clenched his fists in anger. To her credit, Yugao didn't flinch at the tremendous killing intent he exuded. You have no right to say this, he spat venomously, his stoic mask finally breaking. You are being selfish. Yugao held her ground. You pretend you loved Sasuke, but you never considered how he felt about all of this. I have seen the reports on the Uchiha massacre. You used the Tsukiyomi on your brother, and forced him to watch the murder of his parents, of his entire family, multiple times. It was necessary for. You mentally tortured your 7-year-old brother, and turned him into a revenge-obsessed ninja, Yugao snapped. You did intentionally, all so you could turn Sasuke into a pawn into your own suicidal scheme. At no point did you ever consider the effect on Sasuke's mental health and happiness. Itachi felt silent. In spite of keeping her calm tone, Yugao radiated with cold fury. You robbed your brother of his childhood, she continued. He never opened to anyone, until Naruto and Han managed to break past his shell. If your plan had worked perfectly, if he had followed the script you wrote for him, what do you think would have happened? Sasuke would have grown up as Broken Man, and would probably have died an early death on the battlefield. At worst, he would have become just as bad as Pain. I did it for Sasuke's own good, Itachi replied, aware how weak the defense sounded. No. You did it for the sake of your goal. Not Sasuke's. You never cared about the person he was, only what he represented to you. Yugao shook her head. You have tunnel vision, Itachi-san, she said. You see an end goal, but you ignore everything else. You try to do everything yourself, because you think you know better. You don't see the consequences of your actions, nor what will happen once your goal fulfilled. And now you have lost your goal, all you can think about is taking revenge, no matter the cost to yourself and others. Yugao shook her head. How can you think you will defeat Pain, she continued, when you act the same? Itachi felt his heart stop beating. I turned into Madara. He didn't know which hurt more. The fact she had a point, or the realization he had repeated the same exact mistakes as his own ancestor. He wondered if the Shodai had had a similar conversation with Madara, after the death of the latter's brother. Had the Uchiha Lord even considered those words? Or had he been too blinded by his own pain to listen? I agree Pain and Akatsuki must be stopped, Yugao said, but not like this. Not if it means killing yourself. Itachi observed her in silence for a time, before finding his words. Why do you wish for me to live? He asked, honestly puzzled. I am a criminal. A mass murderer. A kinslayer. A monster, he clenched his teeth. A failure. Because, in spite of everything you did, you're not a bad man, Itachi-san. Yugao crossed her arms. We have been traveling together for some time, and I have had the opportunity to observe you. You are not the monster you think you are, Itachi-san. You are simply someone who made mistakes. You are someone intense. You care too much, be it about your successes or failures, and you let your grief consume you. That is all I have left. No, she replied, it's never too late to change, to try rebuilding your life. For all it's worth. I don't think neither your brother, had he known about the truth, nor your parents, would have wanted you to waste your life. They would have wanted you to live, and to find happiness at last. Try living? Not to live as he had survived, as a walking corpse awaiting his long-overdue execution, but live? Attempt to build himself a new home, to continue the Uchiha line? To create himself a new family? Try to move on past Sasuke's death? Those were thoughts he never considered, ever since he forfeited everything on that night. The way we think is different, but I'm still proud of you. His father's last words resonated through Itachi's mind. He wanted to say something, anything, and found he couldn't. For maybe the first time in his life, he truly felt that loss of words. That's all right, Yugao said, as if she had read his mind. I don't expect you to accept right away, only to consider it. She turned her back on him. We should go rejoin the others. The route is still long, Yugao-san? She turned around to face him. Thank you, she smiled. You're welcome. You know, brat, out of all the hideouts you could have used, Jiraiya snorted, did you really have to hide in a cave? A dark, humid cave full of reptiles? Make no mistake, Jiraiya, the white snake sage warned lowly, glaring at the toad Sannin, your presence is only tolerated because it cannot be avoided. Your toad smell disgusts me so much it is difficult to resist the urge of eating you. Do not tempt me. Naruto rolled his eyes, although he wasn't very surprised. It had taken him days to convince the white sage to allow Jiraiya entry in the snake's lair, and had not the current matter been serious enough to threaten the entire Ryuchi cave, he would have probably refused. Peace, gentlemen, gentle snakes, Naruto said in an appeasing manner. We're all friends there. I still think you would be safer in Mount Maiboku, Jiraiya snorted, causing the white sage to hiss threateningly. I have nothing against toads, but most of my stuff is there, Naruto shrugged. Could you all please bury the hatchet? We're running out of time. He could sense it, the undercurrent of pain beneath his skin, the Kyuubi's chakra leaking from the seal into his deficient chakra coil. The monster's prison weakened with each passing seconds, and soon the nine tails might try to break out by force. Don't worry about it, kid. Reinforcing your seal will not be difficult, Jiraiya said. I had always feared we might have to do this, in case its power were to be overused. It's your other operation that worries me. We have to, Naruto replied. It's the only way to get reliable info on Akatsuki before the summit begins. Jiraiya frowned. According to my contacts, Akatsuki has recalled most of its operatives, and shut down many of its operations in the shinobi nations. They're gathering their forces, from the mercenaries under their employ to the remnant of Orochimaru's hidden sound. It's obvious they intend to attack the summit. It's what they intend to gain out of this that worries me. Attacking the summit would only result in the shinobi nations banding against and annihilate them, Naruto noted. The attack will be a cover for something more insidious. And this might be the only way to discover Akatsuki's true plan. You do realize what might happen if it goes wrong? Jiraiya said. That bastard put a little of his soul inside the cursed seal. It might. No, we'll try to take over. That's a risk I'm willing to try. Besides, if anyone can ensure the operation's success, it's you. Jiraiya smirked, albeit only a little. So you do believe in my priceless expertise, brat? Yeah, Naruto said, I trust in your expertise, Godfather. Jiraiya tensed, although he didn't appear much surprised. So you learned about your heritage, the sage said. I'm sorry not to have been there to watch over you, Naruto. All I want to know is why. Naruto asked, unable to suppress the venom in the last word. Why didn't you tell me sooner? About my father? Why weren't you there in my childhood? I never really was parent material, Jiraiya admitted. I'm a failure, Naruto. Every time I tried to help people, it never worked. I failed your father and his teammates. I failed your mother. I failed my own friends. I failed my teammates. I even failed with Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko. I thought the Sandaime would do a better job at watching over you. The Sannin glanced away. As for why I didn't tell you the truth, to be honest, I never intended to tell it at all. I thought you would be crushed if you learned that the man who sealed the QB inside you, condemning you to a life of misery and hardship, was your own father. The bitter truth is better than the sweetest lie, Naruto said. I don't hate my father for what he did. It was either me or dozens of thousands dying. If I had been in his place, I'm not really sure I would have done differently. And neither do I hate you for your choices, old pervert. Really? Jiraiya couldn't hide his surprise. Obviously, he had expected a rant or worse. But you aren't a failure, Naruto replied. You're one of the bravest shinobi I've met. You came to rescue me from aim, risking your life in an international incident. You're not perfect, yes, but I've made terrible mistakes of my own. I think it's time we look toward the future, instead of the past. Pain couldn't. Let's not make the mistake he did. He offered his hand to his godfather. Let's face Akatsuki together, shall we? Jiraiya smiled sadly, and shook the hand. Thanks, godson. While I find this scene touching, the white sage cut in. Could we please address the current matter? Oh, right, Naruto said. Time to show the furball who's the boss. Oh, look, here is history's greatest mass murderer. Naruto clenched his fists, as he walked in front of the QB's cage. Have you finally came to your senses? Yes. Took long enough. The QB raised its eyebrow, and smirked. Finally! Rip the seal open, and then embrace my full power. No. Naruto crossed his arms. I'm not letting you get out. I have come to tell you farewell. After all of what we have gone through together, I thought it would be an act of courtesy. The QB raised its head, suddenly confused. What the hell are you talking about? You can't get rid of me, boyo. Not until you die. Oh, I won't get rid of you, Naruto shrugged his shoulders. I'm going to imprison you forever. Imprison me? The fox's eyes widened considerably. Ah, I see. You think you can repair your seal and lock me up. Well, genius, let me tell you something. There will be a day when you will call on me, and I will be free again. If you could react to any call, perhaps, but what's going to happen is a little different. Naruto chuckled. Jiraiya is currently preparing to put a new seal over the Yondaimes. This addition will break the connection between us, burying you deep inside me. You won't be able to influence the world outside, and your chakra won't be able to get out of the seal, even if I am dying. In short, you're going to spend the rest of my life here, alone, with only darkness and silence for company. No priceless minutes of freedom, no discussion with anyone. Just solitary confinement for decades. The QB ground his teeth. You won't have the guts. Oh, but that's only the first part, Naruto continued. You see, when I will be about to die of old age or when I think it is time, the white sage will move the seal, and you alongside it, most probably inside a pot. And you're going to spend eternity buried in the Ryuchi cave, where no one will ever try to find and free you. You will spend all of eternity there, alone, until the sun dies out. Naruto snorted at the monster's increasing rage. If you want to get a picture of your future, imagine yourself in this cell, alone in the dark, screaming, yet with no one to answer you. Forever. At that time, the Kyuubi was done talking. Instead, he attempted to punch his prison's bars, trying to reach Naruto with his claws. Unfortunately for the Bijou, its Jinchuriki was too far away. You little piece of human shit! The nine-tailed fox snarled, oozing with fury. I will destroy the seal and rip you apart into 1,000 tiny pieces, the blonde snorted. You know, Obito sounded a lot more terrifying than you. If you wish to intimidate me, you should try something better. I will murder you and everyone you ever cared about. No you won't, Naruto snorted. I let you cause enough damage already. Through me, you killed thousands, and this will be your punishment for this crime. You're as guilty as I am. The Bijou hissed. You let me out, you called me. You didn't resist. Yes, and just like you I will face my own punishment in time. But trust me, I think my eventual fate will be a lot more enviable than yours. Naruto turned his back on the Kyuubi. You shouldn't have harmed any innocent, and you certainly shouldn't have ever threatened Tenten. Don't act almighty with me. You think you're so better than me or Obito or Pain? We both know what you truly are. A miserable pile of self-hatred and jealousy. And we both know without my power you don't stand a chance against Akatsuki. Naruto snorted, and turned his head, side glancing at the monster. Really, because you taught me there was something better than power. Something that all the strength and might in the world will never defeat, the Kyuubi snorted. Nothing is stronger than me. So come on, bring it. Whatever secret weapon you have, I will overcome it. Naruto shrugged. My secret weapon is already in place, he said, glancing at the seal, so come on, break it. Show me how strong you are. The fox snarled angrily and attempted to claw the Shinigami's seal, without success. Its claws bounced off the paper sheet, unable to damage it. Yet, the fox's pride was too great for it to abandon, even in the face of certain defeat. It's useless, Naruto commented. If you could have broken it, you would have done it years ago. In the end, in spite of your colossal power, you just aren't strong enough to get past a piece of paper. The Jinchuriki smiled. That's what you taught me. No matter how strong the opposition is, there is always something against which it is vulnerable. There is a right tool to overcome any challenge. For Dosu, it was his dependence on a drug. For you, it's a seal. For Obito and Pain, more creative strategies will be required, but I know what to do and I will beat both of them. That one is for you, Tenten. You may be able to cause tsunami and hurricanes, but you won't be able to break these bars, he whispered, and when you will feel the seal get stronger than ever, then you shall know I have well and truly defeated you. Farewell. Naruto started walking away, into the darkness. He felt the Kyuubi glare at his back, its bravado quickly turning into fear. Wait, come back! Naruto ignored the beasts yelling. You're making a foolish mistake. I know we haven't been on good terms, but I'm sure we can reach an agreement. Why negotiate when I hold all the cards in my hands? I can give you power beyond your wildest dreams. More than any man, even Uchiha Madara. I could give you half of my chakra. Enough to blow up mountains with a single finger. How does that sound? When the Bijou realized Naruto wasn't paying attention, it switched tactics. Look, Naruto, don't you want to learn anything about your clan and your parents? Because I'm the only witness left alive. If you seal me off, you will never know the entire truth. While I'm happy you finally bothered calling me by my name, Naruto said, I've let my past behind. Besides, I have other, more reliable information sources. I will do everything you want. The Kyuubi shouted. Everything. There is nothing you have that interests me. Farewell, Furball. Please. I beg you. The pitiful tone actually made Naruto stop. The nine-tailed fox's voice had lost all of its arrogance and bravado, the creature being reduced to begging for its life. I beg you, don't leave me alone down there. I just wanted to get out. I just wanted to be free to murder thousands? They deserved it. The Kyuubi snarled bitterly. They're greedy, hateful creatures. The sage taught them ninjutsu to bring peace, but they used it to wage war instead. Then they exploited this power to bind me and my fellow Bijou. They all deserve to suffer as I did, and it gives you the right to destroy thousands of lives? Naruto glared at the Bijou. Don't play the victim card with me. I had every reason to hate mankind for rejecting me, but I didn't try to blow up entire settlements, intentionally. I tried to rise above it, you didn't. You're just an all-powerful bully trying to justify his actions. You can't understand, the nine-tailed fox growled. You're just like my previous containers. You tried to paint yourself as a paragon of goodness, but underneath, you're as selfish as any other human. You just don't give a shit about how a bijou feel. Naruto frowned, as an idea crossed his mind. To be truthful, Furball, there is something you have that interests me. What? Tell me. The fox exulted, finally finding an opening. Don't keep me confined, and I will give to you. Give? It's not something that can be given, it's something you earn. Naruto locked eyes with the monster. Let's make a little bet. Naruto opened his eyes, sensing the Kyuubi's chakra receding into the seal, and Jiraiya touching his exposed chest, adding locks and protections to the seal. Alright, I restored the seal back to its original state, Jiraiya explained. Now, I will just have to add a few reinforcements and it won't be necessary anymore, Naruto said. I resolved the issue. You what? The Furball and I had a longer conversation than I expected, Naruto explained. We've made a bet. If I don't ever use his power again and defeat Akatsuki without it, then it will give me something priceless. And if you lose? Jiraiya's eyes opened wide. You agreed to do something really stupid, do you? Yeah, but if I do win, then it will be worth the risk. And you trust the Kyuubi to agree to your terms? Why? The fact that if he does cheat, then it will prove me right and his entire justification for everything it ever did was wrong, Naruto replied, and if I call his power, which I won't ever do, then the Kyuubi will feel validated. So no, it won't try to break the rules, because it is already convinced I will call upon its power again. Jiraiya fell into deep silence, making Naruto narrow his eyes. You're going to try and convince me to drop it, right? He asked. I did blunder pretty badly after all. I won't blame you if you insist on increasing the seal's protections. To be honest, I'm not even sure I would lie if I said it wasn't an unnecessary risk, the Sannin cut in. But if you think you have to do it, and that you can do it, then you've got my full support. Really? Naruto's head perked up. Why? Jiraiya smiled. Because you're the most surprising ninja I met. If you think you can succeed, then I trust you to do the impossible. Somehow, that amount of trust from such a powerful ninja, no, the closest thing he could ever hope to have a parental figure after the Sandaime, made Naruto feel prouder than he had been in a long time. You just made my heart so warm and fuzzy, you know. He deadpanned. Thanks you, Ero-sennin. Jiraiya let out a groan, before turning serious. So, now is time for the second operation. You think it can work? As I told you when I examined your cursed seal, Orochimaru put a little of his chakra in it, to better influence you and Sasuke, Jiraiya explained. If I alter it a little, then indeed, it might grant you full access to it. I can't make the experience last long, for it might result in whatever is left of my teammate inside the seal trying to take over. But you'll briefly gain access to his memories. Orochimaru belonged to Akatsuki for years, Naruto said. If I can gain insight on their plans, it might decide the fate of the entire summit. You do realize you're going to briefly peek into a psychopath's mind? Jiraiya asked. It will be disturbing. Maybe even painful. Meh, I can take it. Well then, if you insist. Jiraiya touched the curse seal with his index 3-2-1. Suddenly, Naruto found his brain assaulted with a flood of images, sounds, and screams. The very first memory he got was that of Orochimaru vivisecting a poor man alive, methodically opening his insides with a scalpel. The victim screamed, and Naruto experienced Orochimaru's sickening joy. The madman could have knocked out his test subject, but he found the man's reaction much more pleasant than mere painless surgery. Then, Naruto saw a slaughter, a bloody massacre as the Sannin unleashed a torrent of snakes upon Iwanins, tearing them to shreds. He left one alive, briefly faking mercy, only to crush that hope instantly by beheading him with the Kusanagi. The following memories were simply disgusting, each new one topping the former in horror. Tortures, lethal experiments, or even the first time Orochimaru performed his soul-stealing jutsu on one of his own loyal men. Although he could gain great medical and practical knowledge from observing them, Naruto banished these souvenirs of atrocities in the deepest corner of his mind. A knowledge earned this way wasn't worth such a ghastly price. With much difficulty, Naruto managed to push back those horrifying souvenirs, trying to stay calm. It felt like when he had been possessed in aim, struggling against a power devouring him from the inside, vying for control. But Orochimaru's remaining memories were nothing but small fishes compared to the Kyuubi's malice. With effort, Naruto managed to push them back and delve deeper inside the madman's memories. As he progressed deeper into Orochimaru's souvenirs, Naruto realized the psycho's terrible technique had a hidden cost. Many memories were damaged, or incomplete. Orochimaru remembered he had had parents, but couldn't remember what they looked like, or what he felt toward them. Jiraiya was nothing but a blur, instead of an individual. Jumping from body to body had progressively corroded Orochimaru's soul, damaging it. No wonder he had grown mentally unstable. One memory, however, was incredibly vivid. The death of his first genin students. Before taking Anko under his wing, Orochimaru had taught a group of ninjas, one of them Nawaki, Tsunade's brother. A mission had turned into a disaster, and the entire team had been wiped out. All the snake could bring back to Tsunade had been Nawaki's necklace. Although he had tried to appear uncompassionate and callous, Naruto could feel the anguish and dread Orochimaru had experienced at seeing his protégés die so pointlessly. That day awakened something in Orochimaru. A primal fear of death that would push him on dark paths. In the end, Orochimaru was nothing more, deep down, than someone that at a decisive moment chose to fear death instead of accepting it. But unlike most, the Snake Sanin's entire life started revolving around avoiding the inevitable, no matter the cost. It could have been tragic if the lengths he had gone through, out of sheer selfishness, hadn't been so extreme. In the end, for all his bravado, Orochimaru was only a man too stubborn to accept the inevitable. Naruto didn't care what Orochimaru had or could have been, however. He wanted information on Akatsuki, and focused on trying to locate them. Naruto then watched some souvenirs of Orochimaru's time in the organization, of how Konan had approached him with an offer of membership and unlimited resources, in exchange for doing what he did best. The blonde ninja witnessed how Orochimaru had partnered with Sasori, and developed both a grudging respect for the other's work and theories about immortality through body enhancement, and a raging hate for an individual he couldn't manipulate. Naruto absorbed the information like a sponge. Akatsuki's efforts to topple the governments of the ninja nations, how they had drained Kusugakure dry of their ninjas to bolster their own forces, how they had subtly taken over Suna from the inside, how they had started and profited from minor border conflicts during the last 2 decades, and finally, how they had intended to rule the world through shifting the balance of power in their favor. Then, Naruto found the answers he was looking for. "I am very pleased with your gift, Zetsu," Orochimaru told someone in the shadows, as he examined an unconscious man lying on an operation table. "I had thought this particular experiment had failed. It appears I am even more skilled than I thought." His fellow could hardly be called a man. Although dressed in an Akatsuki cloak, the creature looked more like a monstrous plant than anything else. "We have gone through some trouble to get this to you. It could be used as your new body, and grant you access to the Mokuton. And you wish for compensation?" Orochimaru smirked. "A favor? Our clones have the ability to shape-shift," Zetsu declared. "They are impossible to detect, even with a Byakugan. Trust us, we checked. And slowly but surely, you use them to kill and replace sensitive individuals, placing sleeper agents for our organization in the higher echelons of enemy organizations," the Sannin replied. "No need to remind me of it. I know it's Sasori's job to handle the infiltration of other nations, but I do check up on his progresses from time to time. Unfortunately, we discovered a little problem in this strategy," Zetsu explained. "The clones have a flaw." "Really?" Orochimaru raised an eyebrow. "Do they dissipate over time?" "I thought they could not be dispelled." "They cannot, but we have discovered the transformation reverts upon death. If an infiltrated clone were to regain its original shape if accidentally killed, our operations might be discovered and scrapped. None has been discovered thus far, but we believe in reducing the risks." "Then you wish for me to correct this defect?" "I cannot do this unless you allow me to dissect one of your clones, but you can solve this problem." "Who do you think you are talking to?" Orochimaru gave his ally a smug smirk. "Send me clone, and I will solve your design flaw after I finish catching up lost time with Tenzo." The memory ended there, and Naruto found no follow-up on it. Instead, Orochimaru's focus had turned on the invasion of Konoha, letting this problem slide in a corner of his mind. The Sannin had obviously intended to betray the organization, and had no intention of helping them any longer. Suddenly, Naruto understood everything. Akatsuki had possibly dozens of these Zetsu in his employ. They could shape-shift into people, were apparently undetectable, and could not be discovered until after death. The summit, all the world's most powerful people gathered in a single place. It clicked. At this point, Naruto didn't know if he should be impressed by the plan's sheer audacity, or horrified by its consequences. Naruto returned to reality, panting profusely. "So," Jiraiya asked, "found something? We need to call the Mizukage." "No, everyone," Naruto shuddered, "it's even worse than we thought." "Wait, what did you see exactly?" "He's going to take over the world," Naruto replied grimly, "and nobody will even notice." "So," Kisame trailed, "you have been sparring with Yugao again." Both his know-it-all tone and amused, sly grin made Itachi shudder. He briefly checked if Yugao and the others were listening, but fortunately, they were focusing on the road out of the forest. I needed to keep my skills sharp. You two go into the woods together the morning for training exercises. Kisame chuckled. You leave the poor me all alone with the crazies. Jealous? A bit. I miss our old sparring matches. I still remember that time you pulled off your Susanoo for a sword fight. One of the best I experienced. It was the first time I ever manifested it, Itachi admitted. I admit our battles were thrilling. So far, you and Yugao haven't blown up a mountain yet. I look forward to seeing you do it. Yugao is... Itachi trailed. Charming. I enjoy her company. I do not have a word of it. Ah, Kisame muttered, as if he had just realized something important. And for years I thought you were... No, never mind. You thought I was what? It's nothing really. Come on, do tell. You couldn't stop talking about your brother. I figured out you liked him. I did like, he was my brother. No, I mean, liked as in like. From now on, I will act as if we never had this conversation. And we shall never speak of it again. Agreed. But what does it have to do with Yugao? Figure it out, genius, Kisame said before focusing on Fu. Are we there yet? Stop asking it every single hour. The Jinchuriki complained. That's annoying. Kisame briefly fell silent, before smirking. Are we there yet? I'm so going to kick the CR here. Itachi frowned, attempting to stress his eyes and see clearly. It took him a few seconds to visualize it. A hole. Well, hole didn't quite fit. An enormous, gaping maw separated the ground in front of them, surrounded by broken trees and torn apart grass. As the group approached it, Itachi glanced inside it, and found himself unable to see. The sunlight itself could not expose what lay at the bottom. Then 2 large, colossal snake's eyes opened in the darkness, each of them bigger than Han himself. Great, more mongrels, a raspy voice resonated through the clearing, as if that old geezer interrupting my nap had not been enough. Manda, Itachi recognized the voice. So you do remember the name of the future master of the universe, the snake replied. Good. I think I will be merciful and spare you. Now be gone and let the superior species sleep. There cannot be a superior species, as it would mean the Han has equals. Is this the entrance to the Ryuchi cave? Fu asked, ignoring her partner. You are not going to leave, are you? Manda groaned. Yes, this is one of the entrances, and it is my turn to keep it. Do not think about passing. There are thousands of tunnels down there, each of them intertwined together. Some lead nowhere, and others to a painful death. Without a guide, you would spend years trying to find your way. And you are not going to lead us down there, aren't you? Yugao frowned. Nope, not a chance. You should already be thankful I am not in the mood for a quick snack. Yet, the Han says he's going to turn you into a purse and boots if you do not cooperate. Manda chuckled. During what you humans called your third shinobi war, I fought a previous holder of the 5 tails, and crushed his bones into powder. You are no match for me, you oversized ape. We need to get down there. Fu protested. Besides, I have already been in the cave. Why can't we be allowed inside? The white sage wants no more humans inside his lair. End of the story. Manda replied. Get lost, before I lose patience. Not until we meet Naruto, Fu insisted, clenching her fists. Kisame grabbed the pommel of his sword, while Han tensed visibly. Stop! A small voice hissed, as a long black serpent slithered out of the hole. Everyone calm down. The creature faced the assembled humans. It has been a long time, Apophis. Fu smiled. How have you been? Pretty fine, grown up a few inches. I think I finally reached my growth spurt. The small serpent turned toward Manda. It's alright, Daddy, they're friends. Daddy? I told you not to call me this in front of such animals. Manda scorned his progeny. Did the old geezer send you? Indeed, he predicted their coming. I have been sent to escort them to the cave. What is the point of keeping these damn entries if everyone is allowed inside? Manda complained. Damn it, when the old man kicks the bucket and I am fully in charge, things will change. Dad, you're rambling again. But... Fu frowned. How can you be parent and son? You are not even the same snake species. Oh, that? Manda snorted. I looked like the kid when I was his age. Until I had my growth spurt. Took 2 tons the first year, 3 more the next. The Han could do that too if the Han wanted. Han muttered under his breath. Unfortunately, the Han does not have the budget for that much food yet. Anyway. Apophis coughed. Would you kindly follow me? The descent will take hours. When he told Mei, the Mizukage blinked several times. I'm afraid I misheard. Do you mind repeating that? He's going to kill everybody at the summit, somehow, and replace them with sets of clones, Naruto explained in dread, since these creatures can impersonate others to the point of fooling the most powerful sensors and their shape-shifting hold under force. Nobody will realize they have been replaced. These clones will obey Akatsuki, and Akatsuki alone. The 5 nations will fall under their control, with no one the wiser. That's insane, Mei replied. The Kage Summit is the most secure place on Earth. There is no way Akatsuki could kill and replace anyone there, unless… Jiraiya's eyes widened. Unless it's not the first time they pulled it off, Mei frowned. You cannot imply. Think about it. Naruto cut in. Akatsuki has abducted and sealed 6 Jinchuriki, some of them belonging to great nations like Iwa or Kumo. Why have they been allowed to run amok for so long? Because they have Zetsu agents infiltrated in the higher spheres of power, probably for years. For all we know, the Tsuchikage in the land of Earth's daimyo could have been replaced long ago. I see. Mei continued. If we follow this logic, then some of the organizers and guests of the summit are agents of Akatsuki. They will be in the perfect position to organize a trap. Still, how can they hope to kill the Kage without attracting attention? The white sage asked. Killing one is difficult, let alone 5 of them. They managed to capture 6 Bijou and nearly bring Konoha to the brink of destruction, Jiraiya noted grimly. With people like Deidara, they could probably destroy the entire land of iron along with the summit if they wanted to. Naruto locked eyes with Mei. We have to inform everyone. If we make this public, then Toby will adapt his plans, Mei pointed out. For now, we have the advantage. We know what he is planning, but he does not know we know. We have a few days ahead of us left, and we can use them to prepare a counterattack. Toby will believe the summit is his trap, Jiraiya nodded, when in truth, it will be a trap for Akatsuki. He is arrogant, Naruto said. If we bait him right, if we prepare enough, we could kill him for good, and wipe out Akatsuki once and for all. I will inform Tsunade immediately, Jiraiya said, glancing at Mei. We need to coordinate on this. The Kiri's delegation will stop at Konoha, since it is on the way to the land of iron, Mei replied. Since we have already cooperated against Suna, it would not surprise anyone both of our delegations meet earlier and travel together. Jiraiya glanced at Naruto. And you, brat? I will catch up to you at the summit, Naruto replied. Beside the fact I'm currently wanted by, well, everyone, I should stay under the radar as long as possible. I also have some equipment to prepare. On the way to the Three Wolves Mountains, there is a small frozen lake, Mei said. The day before the summit, our 2 delegations will stop there. I shall be present, Naruto promised. Then it's settled, the White Snake whispered. I believe both of you, Terumi-san and Jiraiya-san, should now leave and prepare. Jiraiya-san, if you try hitting on me on the way out, I will kill you. You are warned. Mei then gave Naruto a sly smirk. Take care of yourself, Naruto-kun. I look forward to seeing you once more. Damn it, and I thought I had a shot. Jiraiya shrugged, before giving a light tap to Naruto's back. See you around, brat. Naruto waved a goodbye at both and watched them leave the snake's throne room, before turning toward the serpent elder once the 2 ninjas out of sight. Alone, the white snake nodded, shifting on his throne. The dragon wants to meet you. For a few seconds, Naruto thought he had misheard, only for the white snake to confirm it. Our lord has invited you to his lair, the elder serpent said. Few of our summoners have had this honor. For a human to catch his interest, very rare indeed. So Apophis wasn't kidding? Naruto glanced at the large tunnel behind the snake's throne. This is really leading to a dragon's lair? Not a dragon, the white snake replied. The dragon. The king of all reptiles, the first snake to have ever shed his skin and achieved flight. I would suggest you not to make him wait. Patience has never been the virtue of gods. Naruto gulped, and took a step forward. Once in front of the tunnel, he found only darkness waiting for him. Inhaling sharply, the Jinchuriki entered. The tunnel wasn't all that long. Large, yes, enough to have a snake as large as Manda slither through, but not especially long. It took only a few minutes to reach the tunnel's end, a large, underground lake of pure crystal water. Shining purple crystals growing on the rocky walls provided a dim, weak light. Naruto stressed his eyes, but couldn't see much farther. He did notice 2 large rock formations in the distance, 2 small hills of stone emerging from the lake, but he couldn't exactly see the end of the cave. In all likelihood, this cave was the size of Konoha, if not larger. Reaching the lake's shore, Naruto waited for something to happen, only to be welcomed by silence. Is anybody there? He asked, approaching the water. The water shook. A large, dark form started rising out of the water slowly, but with each slow move causing the cave to tremble. In spite of his bravery, Naruto couldn't help but take a step back, as he realized something truly terrifying. These rock formations weren't underground mountains. They were the dragon's horns, when the creature's head emerged from water, leaving the rest of the body underwater. However, this mere head alone was easily the size of a small hill. The beast's golden eyes were 10 times larger than Naruto himself, and the monster's maw was a pit of smoke and fire. Its scales were blue like Shinigami sapphire, and a golden mane was growing between its colossal horns. Upon gazing at the beast, Naruto suddenly felt all his confidence and resolve leave him. That creature was to Manda what Manda was to a lowly snake. Naruto Uzumaki, son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. A powerful, awe-inspiring voice resonated inside Naruto's skull, as the blonde felt the creature's mighty spirit impressing its thoughts inside his brain. You face the divine king of all reptiles. My breath is a hurricane, and my eyes are brighter than the stars. When I stir in my sleep, the earth trembles. When I fly, all of life falls silent in awe, for I am the dragon, and my power almighty. Naruto repressed the urge to scream, as he felt the creature's mental touch reach deeper inside his skull, extracting information at its leisure. It was akin to being hit in the face by a sledgehammer, to have a drill piercing through his skull. The pressure suddenly vanished, as the dragon had finished learning everything of value. I know everything there is to know about you, child, the dragon mentally whispered, Naruto's heart being suddenly filled by an odd feeling of peace. Yet you know nothing of me. I shall give you the honor of listening to my tale. Naruto, unwilling to tempt the creature, simply bowed in respect and listened. I was old when the world was young, the dragon narrated. I was born in an era when your ancestors were no different from apes. I was but a lowly serpent, a horned viper by your books. One day, when I crawled out of my lair, I saw a hawk open his wings and fly. I was fascinated, mesmerized. At this instant, I decided I would fly too. I would fly and reach the sun and the moon alike. Nothing would convince me otherwise. The idea this beast had once been no bigger than a viper made Naruto's skin crawl. He had seen the countless snakes of the Ryuchi cave. Which of them would reach this size in centuries? I had no wing. Yet I tried to fly. I escalated the highest waterfall of the land, and launched myself in vain, mending my wounds and trying again. It was a foolish dream, but I tried again and again and again. I lost count of how many times I attempted to defy nature itself. In the end, nature gave up first. I launched myself into the air one more time, but I did not fall to the ground. I flew through the clouds and the azure. My scales turned into an armor, my claws came to be, and into swords. My breath became fire, and I could control the winds and the seas. Through my determination, I had overcome my limitations. I was a serpent no longer. I had shed my skin and taken my flight. I had become the first dragon. You two look after an impossible dream, the dragon continued. You wish to become a great ninja, without a chakra. A crippled man wishing to walk. You are a wingless bird wishing to fly. A lowly viper wishing to become a dragon. No, Naruto Uzumaki, that no dream is unreachable. The world does not belong to the smartest, the strongest, the cruelest. It belongs to those who are too stubborn to give up. Naruto nodded. I will take this lesson to heart. However, no matter how priceless it is, wisdom shall not be my only gift to you today, faithful summoner. A light shined in front of Naruto, and a floating, double-edged sword materialized in front of him. The Jinchuriki instantly recognized it. Is this the sword of Kusanagi, once owned by the one you called Orochimaru? The dragon confirmed. He too was a snake that wished to be a dragon. He too had an impossible dream, to surpass mortality itself and achieve eternal life. He died his hopes unfulfilled, the Kusanagi tainted by the blood he shed for a goal he could not reach, yet he died trying to defy fate. It is little different from what you tried to do today. All of those who wielded the Kusanagi had a dream too. Some fulfilled it, many failed to do so. Now it is your turn for your resolve to be tested. I have seen what shall happen. You shall meet the one called Obito Uchiha in battle. Only one shall walk out of it. You shall either die a lowly snake, or shed your skin and achieve your dream. Your hope will be shattered if found wanting. But should you stay faithful to your path, if you truly wish to defy the fate enforced on you, then wear this blade as a badge of pride. Naruto grabbed the blade's pommel. It felt so light and warm, the sword itself radiating warmth. It certainly was not a sensation one would expect from the main weapon of Orochimaru. I swear to you, he said, I shall not betray my dream. The day has come for you to rise, the dragon said. Take your flight, Naruto Uzumaki, and grow wings.